All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Swimmer Sig 71. I forgot the word over for a second, but we are live with IPL's Wednesday night tournament. I am Turtle, and I am joined by Shads tonight. Hi, Shads.
Hi! It's a little sus how we're starting things out tonight, isn't it?
Very suspicious indeed. Our first set, as you can see here, is between Among Us, Warlords, and Gimme Chocolate. So, I think both of these are pickups. I am familiar with players on both of these teams. Um, Gimme Chocolate, I believe, is players in +3 and maybe +2. I have no idea who's in +2 anymore, but very strong pickup. And Among Us Warlords, there we go, also has players in +3 like Jacob, so definitely going to be an exciting set to watch. I've also seen Rotsiv and Smile recently in a lot of tournaments, so definitely think that either of these teams has a shot winning the set.
Yeah, as your certified low-level member of the VC, I am not a +2, so I don't know who's a +2 either, or +3. The only one I recognize is Q, and that is from way back in the Stone Age of Splatoon when Vitamin C was a thing, and Q was on Vitamin C.
Yeah, I Q has been around for a while. Another thing that's been around for a while is Starfish Main Stage, and on Rainmaker, that specifically is going to be our first map mode combination. And how do you feel about Rainmaker Starfish Sheds?
I mean, I could take it or leave it. I'm a backline, primarily sniper weapon, so this isn't the best map for backlines. It's not the worst. If it's in group solo rotation, I'll play it. Controlling the flanks are going to be really important here. Fast-moving comps are going to do well here as well, since it is Rainmaker. Love to see Swoosh 7 get pulled out. It's going to do really well hammering down the street.
Yeah, short range shooters definitely are very strong here because of flags. I feel like with Starfish, because it has a lot of flags and also a lot of open territory, you can get like pretty much anything to work here. The biggest thing with Rainmaker in specific here is you need to be like really efficient on your pushes because every little point matters in the court since it's hard to get up the ramp. So teams are
Yeah,
going to need to be really careful, just running the Rainmaker as far as they can.
yeah, if we see anybody get up that ramp, that's going to be a really safe push. Not necessarily a game-winning push, unless, of course, they knock it out, but it's going to be a really, really safe number for them.
Yeah, this
I would
map.
like to see Bomb Rush here on defense. Bomb Rush is really great in the pit because they're enclosed on so many different sides. They can't escape the bombs. You will get lots of kills.
For sure. Bomb Rush is also very good for offense since you can use it to pop the Rainmaker after your Rainmaker carrier dies, which can allow you to extend your push a little more. So I think Bomb Rush in general is a strong pick. I feel like it's not a super common Rainmaker pick because I know a lot of people who play Bomb Rush weapons like to play things with Inkjet. Like I know Splash players like to go T-Tech a lot on Rainmaker. Missiles is common on every mode. I see that a lot more than Bomb Rush. But I think Bomb Rush on this map in particular, as you pointed out, certainly really strong option, and I will not be surprised if we see one from either of these teams.
Yeah, bubbles can also be interesting here because you can use them for both offense and defense. Offense, not only will the pops kill a lot of people, but they will also shield the Rainmaker if you launch the bubbles into the pit. Defense-wise, you're not going to run a Rainmaker straight in the bubbles. That's just asking to die.
Yeah, it's the thing with bubbles though is oftentimes you can like sneak past the bubbles if you're fast enough. Okay, game time. So seems that both of these comps, uh, Lil, it seems that Among Us Warlords has a pretty standard comp with the support backline K-Shot K-Gal. However, Gimme Chocolate with the 96 Gal, not a weapon you see every day in Rainmaker. Really interested in seeing how that'll do for them.
Yeah, I mean, forget Rainmaker, that's just not a weapon you see that often in general. Jacob's gonna launch Arbor here really quickly, see if he can get some picks off for his teammates. Gonna rush in, not able to find anyone close. They're gonna have to back off because of the bamboo. The Foster is in mid, doing really well to keep people away from the Rainmaker. Missiles come out to target that Ray. He's going to be forced to reposition, not able to find anybody with that special, and one member of Among Us Warlords goes down as Gimme Chocolate is going to get the first round.
Yeah, that slosher pick on the C-Jet is going to be very bad for Among Us Lords. However, they are able to trade off the Rainmaker, but they are at a disadvantage, and Gimme Chocolate does have Havoc pushing their court still, so this push could definitely be extended for quite a few more points. However, Among Us Warlords is trying to shoot the Rainmaker and bomb Gimme Chocolate out, and the Rainmaker has to back here.
Yeah, Havoc Bombers does come out, not able to find anybody with because he was forced to play 2 back, and now they're the only ones left alive on the side of Gimme Chocolate. Among Us Warlords is going to rush into mid here now and get as much blue paint as possible. Havoc going down to, looks like, a Kentagal pick, yes, not the bomb. And now Stingray is out from Among Us Warlords, so that's going to be very good on offense. Apple's pushed really far up here, going to try and get that snipe area cleaned off, so that way people can't jump down onto the Rainmaker from above. J-Field is going to be the one holding the Rainmaker on the side of Among Us Warlords. Pretty smart pick. They're the junior player. You all probably want the support to grab onto it. Now going to come across the cut here, not able to find anyone because of a very bad 2v1.
Oh, that's lead, that's lead.
Yeah, they did get the lead. Havoc was able to get the pick on the Rainmaker, and 3 went down on Among Us Warlords. So now it's going to be a shift in mid, in the side of Gimme Chocolate. Gimme Chocolate's going to make that snap. Nice and yellow for them, and Havoc up here on this sniper area is going to be in a very good position for that saucer weapon.
Yeah, Havoc gets one, gets another. He is in a super powerful position. I can definitely see a push to 20. However, this Stingray does stop any chances of pushing. Stingray is such a menacing special to deal with on Rainmaker, since you're a super slow weapon when you hold the Rainmaker, and you also don't get the armor, which is the main counter to Stingray when the opponent pops Rainmaker. So I think Among Us Warlords might have to try to come up with a plan to push faster in order to counter the threat of Stingray looming from Among Us Warlords.
Yeah, Gimme Chocolate's gonna go again with the Rainmaker here, gonna try and get the lead here. They
That's
do
the lead,
manage to get it. Not really pushing too far fast, and here they go. They're getting to the top of the ramp. So this is what we talked about earlier, where the ramp is a good position. Havoc is in a good position here with the burst bomb, not able to find anyone. He was gonna get an extra point. Sometimes that's the difference between winning and losing in Rainmaker.
Yeah, in this map in particular, getting past that little wall there is very difficult, since you have to, go pretty much... Oh no, the DC for Among Us Warlords!
Yes,
so that's brutal.
Brutal for a couple reasons. I don't believe they can replay because it's too far, not only in the score, but also in the time. So now Gimme Chocolate is in a very good position here. They are just going to be able to go straight into spawn. Smile pulls out missiles, manages to get the Rainmaker. Looks like actually Taku got that one, sorry. And Rostov is going to try their best to keep Gimme Chocolate off the Rainmaker.
Yeah, I think they just kind of gave up at that point.
Yeah, really in a Rainmaker, if it's a 3v4, it's very, very difficult to win those.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate as a DC for Among Us Warlords, because if you have if you're losing in Rainmaker, it's probably the easiest mode to come back in, since you only need one good push to get all of the lead back. So very unfortunate DC for Among Us Warlords, but I definitely think they showed that they're definitely have a very solid shot at taking the rest of the set.
Yeah, really before that DC happened, the two teams were very even. You saw very good pushes from both of them, good special coordination. Not a lot of the flanking that I was hoping we would see, given that it is Starfish, but they're definitely evenly matched teams, and it's still anyone's set. But we get to move on to the Clam Blitz on Snapper Canal. What are your thoughts on this map?
So, Clam Snapper, I talked last time about how Rainmaker Starfish allows pretty much anything to run. I feel like Clam Blitz Snapper it's pretty open with weapons that you can run on it, but I think it's a bit more restrictive because there's a lot more open territory and a lot less areas you can flank with. Of course, there's the little slick flank area around to your opponent's snipe you can take, which is a very strong flank, but that's also very predictable if the opponent's watching it. So on this map, I'm expecting to see a lot more midline weapons or backline weapons. So maybe things like Squeezer. I definitely can see a 96 returning. I think this is a very strong 96 map. We might... I don't know if these teams are going to switch up their comps too much, because I know that a lot of the players on Gimme Chocolate are one-tricks, and Among Us Warlords, their comp with K-Shot, K-Gal Jr., and C-Jet, I feel like the C-Jet might change, but still a really strong option for Clam Snapper. But those weapons work pretty much anywhere, and I feel like if you run those comps, you run them because they work pretty much universally.
Yeah, I could see potentially the member that was playing on Bamboo swap over to either a longer range charger or one of the jets just for Clamblitz. Because it is very hard to use charger on Clamblitz. You're a very stationary weapon, and Clamblitz is a lot of moving around and repositioning.
Well, I know Pulp in particular has been pretty much one-tricking Bamboo as far as I know, and I feel like as far as chargers go, since Bamboo is like the most mobile of chargers and also the fastest charging, even though it's not one-shot, it's probably your best bet if you want to play charger and Quablet, so I certainly expect Pulp to stay Bamboo here. And also Snapper's a very strong Bamboo map.
Oh, what do you mean it's not a one-shot? All you need to do is get 99.9 on MPU, and that's close enough.
Uh,
They breathe
is
in the
it?
lateral direction, and they die.
Okay, important question. Is Bamboo a one-shot technically? Place your opinions, chat. Go.
Technically, it's not a one-shot, but when even getting up in a certain pixel amount of ink makes it so that you die, it effectively feels like a one-shot.
Yeah, it's weird with the classification, but I think like regardless of Bamboozler one-shotting or not, I will say Gimme Chocolate's comp they had last time. I think it does a very good job setting up the bamboo because Slosher and 96 are both good at dealing long-range chip damage that the bamboo can use to finish off a kill. And ooh, we do see a slight change from um is
Smile.
Gimme
Smile
Chocolate the same?
changed- Smile
Yeah, we
changed to VDS. Gimme Chocolate, I believe, is the same. Looks the same.
yeah. So
I think that's the only
VDS
change.
I was talking about this. It's like one of those midline weapons that's really strong here. Ooh, that was a really aggressive Wait, was that aggressive No, that was just the Junior Sharky there.
Yeah, but it's not a weapon that you typically expect to start. Among Us
Yeah.
Warlords is going to get the first clam pop. They don't have a lot to follow it up. You can see that they're all very much backed into mid. Although 3 going down on Gimme Chocolate makes that a delayed wipe. This is going to be a very, very sizable first push.
Yeah, the issue here for Among Us Warlords is they're having a little bit of trouble getting more clams. Smile does have 5 clams, but to get into the basket, he's gonna have to win a fight versus Havoc. Other players on Among Us Warlords are able to score, though. It's just Smile, however. He does have clams. Is he gonna score them or just back up? It seems he's just playing safe here. And he jumps out. Good decision. Going fully down on Clamblitz can be very dangerous, since that gives your opponent the full ability to like make whatever push they want.
Yeah, Armor coming in there, clutch there to save Havoc's life, and then Havoc's teammate Apple coming in to turn that into 2v1. 3 going down on the side of Among Us Warlords versus 2 down on the side of Gimme Chocolate. Gimme Chocolate is going to break the basket, but Smile's coming in from behind through mid, so that's going to really shut down that push before it can even start going.
Yeah, it's Smile.
74, but that is essentially a free power clamp for Among Us Warlords.
Yeah, the thing with Clamblitz is because scoring gives a penalty on that first push, you really want to make a strong first impression on the game, and unfortunately, Among Us Warlord or Gimme Chocolate was not able to do so. However, they still will have plenty of time to prepare a second push, and they already have 12 clams prepared. It seems based on the this way that they're going to coordinate a push through the opponent's right side. Yep, they passed the ball to Storm Hero. Oh no, another DC!
It's the same gal. The gal is just...
No.
I guess Gimme Chocolate is a little bit too sweet. Too much sugar. Making the Wi-Fi go nuts. Rupsiv is going to come out with the Stingray. Manages to get one. Last member of Gimme Chocolate is over on the right. That is Havoc. So Havoc is going to try and extend this push a bit more. Does manage to
that's
keep them busy while
sweet.
Story throws in more clams.
Oh, this is not looking good at all for Among Us Warlords. It seems only 3 more clips needed for Gimme Chocolate knockout. Q has the last 3, and that's going to be the game. Oh, that's absolutely brutal, too. DC will have a pretty strong lead.
Yeah. Yeah, that is just really, really unfortunate for Among Us Warlords.
Yeah, I feel like this is just the classic conundrum of DCs happened on Stream Match.
It might be a replay. I'm not sure.
I don't think so because Among Us Warlords pushed past 50. Oh wait, but if the team I don't know if it's like the opposing team pushing past 50 or a team pushing past 50. So there is a chance that Among Us Warlords get a replay here. We're gonna have to check with the other TOs on what the rules say for this one, but if I remember correctly, it's just if someone pushes past 50.
And I'm looking at the rules right now. Handling disconnect. The game will be finished if there is less than 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, or the team without a DC is 50 units or closer to a
Oh, the
KO.
team with the DC push was 50 units or closer, so I believe this will be a replay.
Possibly. It depends on whether or not, I think at this point, Among Us Warlords kept playing.
I believe they did keep playing.
Yeah, if it kept on playing, then it is not a replay.
Yeah, but still very unfortunate to just disconnect in that situation overall. And also, this is a reminder, if you're playing in a tournament, read the rules. Like, it's important to know, like, when you should stop playing in situations like this, so you can, like, make sure you get your replays in the future.
Yeah. Now, if they DC a third time, and the score is proper, and Among Us Warlords stops playing, then they will get a DC, because they have not used their DC replay yet.
Yeah, we still do have that Game 3, which could come in handy for tiebreakers in the future on Zone's Piranha Pit. I feel like this map is very similar to Clam Snapper on weapons that excel here, so I wouldn't be surprised if Smile sticks with CDS, or we have 96 for a third time, or Bamboozler for a third time. Just a very open map with, like, not many big walls or anything like that.
Yeah, Bamboozler is great here. This is actually the only Clamblet stage where I don't like playing a more quote-unquote traditional charger.
This is
like
zones, not clams.
Not Clamblet, sorry, Flat Zone. It's the only Flat Zone stage where I don't like playing traditional chargers.
Yeah, I know a lot
are
of
going to be good here too. So Havoc's going to have a lot of fun on those conveyor belts.
Yeah, Havoc. I feel like the thing with Slusher here is it's very strong by the conveyor and top left or top right areas, but coming from respawns into like the flat areas, it's just not very good because aside from like the sides of the map, it's very flat on this map. So Havoc's gonna have to be very careful with how he positions.
And we do see that Ruptiv is going to change over to Firefin's Splatter Scope rather than running the C-Jet that they've been running for the majority of the map. It looks like they've swapped out Apple as well, who is the gal that has kept on DCing. Teresa is going to come in on the K-Shot. Meanwhile, on the side of Gimme Chocolate, Havoc has swapped over to a Slosh Deco, which is not something that you see very often anymore.
Yeah, that's
interesting. Popular in clans. And it looks like their junior player has swapped over to a Splash Healing. Gimme Chocolate is going to get the first cap here with, I believe it was a 3-down situation on Among Us Warlords.
Yeah, Slosher Deco is... What I know from Slosher players is they say it's usually the worst one because it's a lot harder to get value with Baller in this meta than Missiles. But I know that like Slosher players also have a lot of fun with it because Baller allows you to be directly aggressive a lot. We're going to see an early advantage here from Among Us Warlords, that them having taken down most of the members of Gimme Chocolate. However, they are going to try to push Smile out that right area. Smile is isolated there and is going to get picked off. Really smart bomb there from Jacob, getting that 96 who dropped, and we're going to see a fight for zone here. However, Q's bomb rush is up, so they are not going to have that. Havoc ballering into zone, trying to get it. 2 members down for Among Us Warlords. The zone might stay, or might flip to Gimme Chocolate here.
Oh, beautiful
yep, it does.
There from the sniper. Gimme Chocolate does get the zone flip, but member with 2 down on Gimme Chocolate is going to probably get pretty close to flipping to Among Us Warlords' favor again. Havoc is going to come in with the Slosher, see if they can clean people off. They are the last one alive. They do manage to get Smile.
Yeah, it's
really hard for the zone here.
It's just Havoc and the Junior and Bamboo here. However, members of Among Us Warlords do get armor and are going to use that to try to push the zone back in. They do get the cap and Havoc, Smile able to escape. That's one of the huge perks of dualies. You're able to escape really quickly. However, Q is able to punish Smile, and it's gonna be 3-up for Among Us Warlord still. They are trying to paint the zone here. They have the zone and a bomb rush. Really crucial special for holding the zone.
Yeah, Havoc does have that baller ready, bro, so they could definitely drop the baller off the side of the conveyor for a quick neutralization. Dorita's going to come over and try and get him, not able to find him. They're going to back off and use Penta Missile. Now Havoc is coming in with this baller. Unfortunately, gets shredded through a combination of Creator's missiles and a well-placed shot from Roxas.
Yeah, that's the biggest weakness with Baller in this meta. So many people run Object Shredder, and there's so many lethals on things like K-Shot, so it's super easy to get shredded. I don't know how that shot got the trade on the other shot there, or the splash there. That was, like, really fortunate RNG there, but really put on the shot for trading that. Storm Hero holding down the zone, gets Smile, and gets the Charger too, peeking through the wall. Wow.
Yeah, that's a really good stick on the Charger. One of the reasons why Firefin isn't as good anymore as it used to be, not only is because of the meta, but also because of how high of a special cost it has. It's going to take them forever to get that bomb rush that they were building up back.
Yeah, however, Rutsev is able to get the pick. Havoc does get Rutsev out of that high ground area, and that's going to be a 3v3 situation. No real specials for... Actually, Armor does go out, missiles too, so Among Us Warlords could push off of this.
Missiles coming out now for Gimme Chocolate. Smile barely manages to survive those missiles, but he's got two people on him on the right. Does manage to find one. Gets the double. Very, very nice play there from them. Can they get the third? No, they cannot. Have it coming in from that conveyor, dropping on to them and getting that pick. There are 12 picks remaining for Gimme Warlords, but they aren't able to recap Gimme Chocolate.
No, they get back.
They're not able to get that cap and continue extending their lead. So 58 penalty points for them. Among Us Warlords, though, has a lot to chew through. They've got to get it all the way down to 11.
Yeah, Among Us Warlords really needs to make sure they can, like, match the specials of Gimme Chocolate, because they've overall had an advantage in getting out specials this game, I've noticed, especially with, as you talked about, Firefin having a very high special count, which makes it difficult to get the bomb rushes. So Among Us Warlords is going to have to back up from mid here, however, they do have another 15 seconds or so to get back the zone. Bomb rush comes out, Armor 2. They are going to get their zone, however the opponent's zone is going to be a little more difficult to get with the Bamboo and 96 watching right over it, and that is not going to be a cap for Among Us Warlords, so Gimme Chocolate is going to take Game 3 and the set.
Yeah, really well playing from both sides, and it's just really unfortunate that Among Us Warlords had those two DCs.
Yeah, certainly. Also, really, we talked about this earlier, but it's really interesting seeing Slasher Deco here, but I just realized a big reason why Havoc might have played it here is because Baller allows an instant cap of zone here, since the Baller explosion all comes out at the same time compared to just painting it normally, or a bomb rush, which takes like time for each individual bomb or paint shot. So I feel like that might have been the reason why Havoc went Slasher Deco here.
It's possible. I mean, it's always fun to see the new weapons that you don't really see played too often anymore.
Yeah, as a Tent, I'm just cleaning on for like any experimentation in the game because it's just so fun to see stuff like that. But yeah, so
neither of these teams are out of the tournament since it is the pools right now. They'll have other matches, and Among Us Warlords could still have a very strong showing later on.
Yeah, I definitely think that they showed that they were like a very scary team to go against, especially in that Clamblitz game, or the part of the Clamblitz game we had. I think that hopefully they can figure out the internet situation. It seems they have a sub, fortunately, so they should be good for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. So I think we jump straight into round 2, or we possibly are waiting on one game to finish.
Okay, so we just got word we are going to be able to take a short break here, so we will be right back with round 2 in only a few minutes. Please stay tuned. There's plenty of more swimming and sinking to come tonight, so yeah, have a good one.
Welcome back to Swimwear Think 71. It's not quite been 3,000 years yet, but we finally have Vortex versus the Grillers on stream. I'm Shads, joined by Turtle, of course, and I think we start things off with Tower Control Manta Maria.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get into this pretty immediately. We are sorry about the delay. There was an issue with one of the teams requiring a sub, but fortunately they finally have 4 players, so we can finally begin. Tower Control Manta Maria. This map, I think it's very important to note that there's a lot of areas that can defend the tower that are either very difficult to reach because it's just so long to like get to them, or like in some cases practically unreachable. Like for instance, the mast in your spawn could be a very good point for backlines to defend from, and also that ramp area that looks over the tower path is very annoying to get to since you have to go like super long. So I think weapons that can pressure high ground, like weapons with inkjet and sloshers, are going to be super strong here. So I'm expecting to see those for sure.
And we also have everybody's favorite missiles. Missiles. You see a stingray, launch the missile. You see somebody, launch missiles. If somebody breathes in your general direction, launch missiles.
You see the tower inch ahead, missiles. Missiles work for everything.
Launch missiles. And missiles are going to make that Hydra very, very miserable. There is support.
Splashdown Hydra? Devi? What?
Devi, this with all the respect, Devi. You grab the wrong weapon?
I am going to trust Devi on this one because I think she knows more about Hydra than I ever will, but that's certainly a pick that I would not expect. Mixter here pushing up quite aggressively on the Dynamo. Unfortunately is going to get flanked by the Octoshot. However, his team is still pushing the tower, has to back due to the bubbles. But overall, very neutral opening here.
Yeah, we have exclamation points in the middle with the squeezer. Wait, that's the bubble squeezer, yes it is. They have that special all ready to go, and that's going to be pretty good at clearing out the top left area, where the snipers like to hang out. You can already see a couple members of the Grillers are trying to position over there, and the Sweeper's going to go up there with those bubbles. They get taken down very quickly. Mixer is going to use that Dynamo's Booyah to try and get picks, not able to find anyone. He's going to hop on tower really quickly to get it through that first check before falling along with the NZAP to the members of the Grillers, who are going to swarm into mid and make it very, very yellow.
Yeah, so far the Grillers have been doing a really good job with their defense. What they've been doing is they've been letting the members of Vortex in. However, they've recognized when they're ready to push back in and have consistently just absolutely destroyed Vortex as soon as they went a little too far into their territory. Oh, is that a splashdown jump?
Yeah, here it comes.
The aggro Hydra gets one. Just the Dynamo up, so the Griller certainly has the potential to get a strong push here. Devi looking for a spot to set up. That's the difficulty with Hydra. When you're pushing, it can be very difficult. Find a spot to set up. However, it seems Devi is very happy with this spot on the wall, able to see plenty of territory into Vortex's spawn. Cookie pushing up here. Fighting the Dynamo. Tower already at the last checkpoint, only needs a little more to get to spawn. However, with the Zap going down and Cookie going down, it looks like the push is done. Oh, splashdown jump? No.
Not even close. It has about 98 more points to go before that exists. Members of Grillers are jumping.
They're still jumping?
Before the strike jump out, I think that people realized that push was very, very dead. But they did force the Squeezer to use their bubbles, which is it burns a special. Looks like Toasty might have fallen into one of the lower decks. They're going to go back to spawn. Members of Vortex now coming into mid, making it very, very blue. 2 members of the Grillers going up onto the top right area to try and hit some paint on the tower at the first checkpoint. Vortex is going to get this first checkpoint, but they do manage to lose 2 members. They got 3 members, actually.
Yeah, that was unfortunate timing because just as they were going down, that's a delayed wipe now. The members of Vortex were getting their specials before the Grillers were able to, but unfortunately they went a little too far before they could utilize the specials. Pincher here pushing with the Inkjet. tried to get picks, doesn't spot anyone, but he does force the members of Vortex back. The Grillers getting almost to their lead, however, Toasty is able to shoot down the tower. Mixer gets one. Oh, the tower keeps moving though to 9. That's not going to be a knockout yet. 2 members of the Grillers up. It's just a Hydra. Always be wary of splashdowns from the middle of nowhere with that V Hydra. I don't think Devi's going to be able to get one in this case though.
Yeah, Mixer's going to keep his cut area very, very, very clean, so that way it doesn't. Nobody comes over to flank him. They're going to force the Booyah from members of.
Big spot for Booyah. Mixer stays alive though. Really smart job knowing the Booyah's limits, because I don't know that much about Booyah, and I thought Mixer was toast there, but he definitely knows much more than I do about Booyah.
Yeah, it is important to note that Mixer is a very good Dynamo player, one of the few people that actually plays that weapon. And Vortex is getting through this checkpoint now. Logan does manage to get a pick on the Dynamo, wants his armor to help his teammates out. They're actually gonna find one member. And then a member of Vortex is going to drop from that bunker area, not able to get the pick on Botion, so you really don't want to take fights when somebody has armor and you don't, unless you know that armor is about to come off. Debbie in the middle now, they have splashdown again, so they're in position for another splashdown jump. They're doing a very good job of playing relatively safe. Does manage to get one member off the cut, so no armor for Vortex anymore.
Yeah, I will say, Vortex is going to have to get the tower, and it looks kind of unlikely they're going to get pushed. They did get 2 members down, a girl is... Oh! I thought they had the tower there. It looked like Mixer was the only one on it, but the Grillers did have a member on it, making the tower neutral and not in favor of Vortex. So, unfortunate ending for Vortex. I was going to say that them getting the second checkpoint is very important for them getting a lead, since that's easily the hardest checkpoint to clear on that map. But unfortunately, if you can't get an overtime, the checkpoints you have before overtime do not matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter at all. So, Grillers take that first game. I admit, I was wrong. The Vanilla Hydra worked. That's not a Shad's endorsement. That's in Debbie's hands. It's okay.
Yeah, if like someone on my team ever says they're gonna play Vanilla Hydra, I'm just gonna like conveniently take a break from Splatoon until they figure out it's not a good idea. I feel like Devi's choice on the Vanilla Hydra. I don't know much about Devi, but I feel like it gives me the vibes of more it's a choice because it's fun than a choice because it's good.
I mean, props to them for choosing something that's fun for them to play, even if it's not necessarily.
Yeah, honestly, like, if you're not enjoying Splatoon, like, I don't see a point in playing it. Just, like, you don't need to worry about, like, winning constantly. Just, like, have fun once in a while. Just do a little Vanilla Hydra here and there. Like, I feel like a lot of people are way too hard on themselves in this game. But, speaking of hard, it's going to be very hard coordinating your pushes with the bridge on Rainmaker Sturgeon here, because if you like push when the bridge is down versus up, you can get significantly further. So it's going to be interesting seeing how these teams react to that.
Yeah, on the flip side though, if you do find that the bridge is up when you make your push, if you dump the Rainmaker into the pit there, it'll get you to about 30, which can actually be a winning push on this map. And if you have a lot of people watching that upper part on the top left and top right when you're trying to make the push over the jump, that can actually be the safer option, especially because people will oftentimes, if they see you jumping into that pit, they aren't going to bother trying to kill you, so you get all those points.
Yeah, that pit jump is definitely one of my favorite techs of the game. It's just so ridiculous watching the Rainmaker just jump into the void. So
Debbie has swapped over to the Armor Hydra.
Yeah, and we're going to have a double backline comp here for Vortex. I believe they also had one the first game with the VJet. So, interesting that both these teams have pretty slow comps. The Grillers with Hydra and Vortex with double backline of Rainmaker, since typically you see faster, more frontlighty weapons here. But backlines can be very difficult to push against. So I think we might see a much more defensive game than normal here.
Dynamo is more of a midline weapon in my opinion. It can do an anchor role very well. And let's be real, Mixer does not play it like the backline. Mixer plays it like it's a carbon.
Yeah, Mixter definitely loves to go aggressive on the Dynamo. He's learned how to do that for probably years now. We're going to see right now Vortex has a slight early advantage, and they do have a little bit of foothold in top mid left, but it's still 3v3. And we do see Cookie and Pincher moving to top left to try to stop them. Pincher is going up, however, as you mentioned, they can still get the pinch jump. Bubbles, I don't think they're going to push past the Bubbles. Yep, the Cookie's Bubbles are able to get the Rainmaker, and it seems like no one's able to get up to top right for Vortex here. However, 2 members of the Grillers are down. This could be very scary. Devi is watching the Rainmaker very intensely. Really good job by Cookie, turning around to punish the flanking Dynamo. Oh, they grabbed the Rainmaker! Wow, they really snuck it past there.
They really did, and sometimes those points are crucial. Cookie's going to come into mid with those bubbles now, try and clear that out a little bit, making space for their teammates. One member of Vortex is going to drop on them from the spinner. They do go down. That's the nozzle node. I believe that's their inkjet. Pincher now going to take it to the skies with their own inkjet. Manages to find Toasty. So no more missiles for Vortex. Not able to find anybody else before that timer runs out. Devi's not able to quite get the revote. They're down to 65 points, and the 2 members of the Grillers that are remaining are going to have to back up. Novelno's coming into mid here now, wisely backing off to the pit, not able to survive Pincher's assault boat. Mixer boat in mid with the Dynamo. And
that's
all to Pincher. There's one thing that playing Dynamo is very frustrating. There are dead zones directly to the sides of the ink, and I believe are also a small one in the middle where even if somebody's right in front of you, if you push them, they won't actually die.
Yeah, the other thing frustrating about Dynamo we saw there is armor makes it much harder for Dynamo to do its job. Pincher's armor allowed him to just go straight for that Dynamo there, so fortunate timing from the Grillers using the armor to push the Dynamo. Vortex is, however, going to have the Rainmaker, and it seems like the Grillers are relatively passive right now, so they definitely could move up the Rainmaker a bit, especially with the armor. However, Pixie is going to go down. It seems that Vortex is trying to push top right, Mixter controlling that snipe area, has a Booyah already. This Booyah could really clear top right here. 2 down for the Grillers. Booyah comes out. Are they going to be able to get far enough up the wall to extend their lead?
Yeah,
they get points. That's not too much more, but 46 could hold on this map since Sturgeon, can be very difficult to push into with all the high ground areas it has.
Yeah. Wisely, the Grillers are going to let that Rainmaker reset. Cookie barely manages to survive that bomb in a 2v1, though. Manages to get the pick. Another member of Vortex is right near them both, so they're going to have to be careful. Looks like that is the V-Jet that's shooting at them. Mixer is up on the side, drops to it, does die to a Rainmaker shot, so 1 down on the side of Vortex. I think that's 2 down, and not near any specials. Missiles coming out. Toxic miss does slow the Rainmaker down enough, just enough for Toasty to get that kill.
However, the Rainmaker is on the
almost killed Toasty there. If the repop had killed Toasty there, that push definitely could have continued on. As is, 2 members of Thrillers down. Devi should probably back off here, and she does. And the Rainmaker resets to mid. That's not what you want to see when you are the Grillers.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate spot for the Rainmaker to die in, since it was on the slick, which is a very difficult area to move quickly past, and also a very open area from enemy fire. The Grillers does seem like they're going to have one more chance to push as they use their armor, and they have a slight numbers advantage over Vortex, however they are respawning. Pixie rushing the Rainmaker with the Junior, though. It seems like the Grillers are going to try... Pixie's able to get the Rainmaker, wow! Just going straight in with Junior, that's not something you see every day.
And Boshin was just not able to get that last charge shot charged up quick enough to get Pixie. I think even if he did, I think that would have been a trade there. I don't think he would have survived it.
Yeah, that was like... I feel like that play was not something I was expecting, but really good job on Pixie recognizing that no one was in close range of the Rainmaker. So what that means is since Junior has very fast mobility, Junior can very quickly get in its kill range with the Rainmaker. So as long as no one is obstructing the path of the Junior, Junior is surprisingly good at sneaking up on slow shooting opponents like Rainmakers.
Yeah. So we move on to Clan Blitz Humpback on the track. Now this is a map that Dynamo loves. Mixer is going to have a field day here.
Yeah, what's interesting is I've noticed that these rounds are kind of themed with like the kind of maps we're getting. I think this is accidental, but last round it was very open maps that favor like midlining weapons. This round it's very like elevated maps that favor weapons like buckets, dynamos, rollers in general actually, inkjets. Comeback has a lot of like divots and trenches that are very strong for, well, as I said, sloshers and other weapons that are good with elevation. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that much of a change in comps. I don't think so, since the other maps were also good for similar kinds of weapons.
Yeah, really, any sort of AoE weapon is going to be good here. Sloshers, Dynamo, Rollers in general. Blasters can be another one that's fun here. I don't think we're going to see one, but I don't know how good the Hydra's going to be here. Now, you can play Hydra here, but backlines on this map can be very, very Debbie can give it a shot, though.
Devi just relentless on the Hydra grind. I honestly respect that immensely.
Yeah, Mixer forcing on that Dynamo. Really, the only change that we see here is that we have a Squeezer instead of Forge Pro on the side of... No, they have a Squeezer on the side of Vortex now, and a Bamboo on the side of Vortex. And 2 down very quickly on Vortex's side. Tinter getting double, Tinter getting triple now. Versus 1 only down on the side of the Drillers, and we already have members building a ball. 1 clan goes in, that's 20 points, Motion in a good spot for potential jump, and that's 2 clan spawn there in the opponent's bunker. 4 clan spawns there. Motion's gonna have to click out the people that are over there, though, not be able to find them. Couple more clans do go in thanks to that Forge Pro. Looks like they might jump out, not able to get out in time. So a push to 71. So ordinarily, that's not great. Humpback Clans is so solid that a push to 71 can win.
Yeah, there's so many areas watching over the basket. It can be very difficult to get in, especially from that low ground area that we saw the Grillers push in. However, Mixter is trying to push from the high ground area. Gets absolutely shredded, though, by multiple members of the Grillers. Able to trade one, so they're going to go back to a neutral situation here. Vortex does have enough clams to score. The issue is getting area to get in, which, as you mentioned, very difficult to do on Humpback. It's a very easy map to defend, and Hydra is one of the strongest defensive weapons in the game, so we're going to see what Vortex can do here. 2 of them go down, so it looks like they might be the ones getting pushed, actually.
Yeah, Toasty is trying to run away with that ball, not able to really get out, though. He's going to throw that down and jump out. The Inkjet is just too much to escape from. Mixer chucks Booyah back towards their basket. Pincer does fall as they come out of the Inkjet. So it's a 3v4 right now on the field in favor of Vortex. And members of Grillers now are getting very, very backed up. There is a jump. Looks like Debbie's going to jump back to their plat, which is the safe space for them to be as the Hydra. They are going to overlook the entire approach from both sides. Mixer coming in on the right with that Dynamo. Debbie's going to fight them. Bubbles coming out from both sides of the map now, as well as Ink Armor. Mixer's going to use that Booyah to try and displace a couple people. That does pop the bubble remaining by the basket and manages to get 1 member of the Grillers. 2 down on the side of the Grillers. Oh, but they missed the clam throw. And Mixer falls to the Hydra, so not able to keep that clam up. That is some very, very unfortunate misses there.
Yeah, that's really not what you want to see, especially considering how like every power can be the difference between a lead and not on this map. Since it's been 3 minutes and we've only had one power clam plus 3 clams scored, which is really not much for clam blitz. Oh, the bubbles come in. This could be a big push from the grillers. However, they don't have too many clams, and Devi is down back there.
On the flip side,
Cookie
though,
scores?
Dynamo did
Oh, it
also
goes down though.
Yeah, Cookie scores does go down, so members of Vortex will have a free clan. Debbie picks up the power clan that his teammate threw back to them, and members of Vortex now are coming into mid. Interestingly, Vortex did not pick up the power clan onto me faster, so they don't get the extra pity. Debbie is down on the side of the Grillers, exclamation point coming into the middle of the map now. They do have bubbles ready. The bubbles come out. They're trying to be pre-shredded by members of the Grillers. Booyah comes in as well. Just barely manages to not die to that bomb, but Bamboo does go down. 2 down on the side of Vortex. Can there be a 3rd down? Will the Grillers be able to find a 3rd?
Yeah, unfortunately with those bubbles, Vortex was not able to go inside the bubbles, which on Clam Blitz is something you want to do a lot of the time since they offer you a shield from opponent fire. However, exclamation marks is able to get one, and that's a full, with that second pick, that's a full wipe, so this could be a very dangerous push, especially with exclamation mark having 9 clams and bubbles. Oh, the 2-frame on the power clam though!
Yeah, so down to 47. That is a delayed wipe, I believe. No, it's not. There's still one more coming in.
And get it in!
So this is huge for Vortex. Huge, huge, huge. Grillers now. We have 20 seconds remaining plus the approximately 20 seconds worth of overtime that we will probably see.
Devi on the flank with the Hydra, a very risky play. However, in the last 15 seconds of the game, you have to go for things like this. Trades one with the Ink Mine. That is... wow.
Yeah, members of Vortex are being forced back. 1 down on each side of the field. Cookie goes down. Pincher going to get the Dynamo here with that Inkjet before landing. We have 19 clams. 10 of those, of course, being represented by the power. 1 down on each side of the field. And it is overtime. There is about 20 seconds left that the Grillers have to get the basket open. But with all 4 members of Vortex up, this is going to be tough. They're coming in. 3 down. That is a full wipe. That is it. GG's for the Grillers. Vortex squeaks it out just at the last second to take this at 2-1.
Yeah, that game, I noticed that the Grillers were in control for more than Vortex. However, in Clam Blitz, a lot of it is about like how long you can sustain pushes. And fortunately, aside from that one push, neither team was really able to sustain a push for long. But really good job on Vortex. Like taking advantage of the team wipe they were able to get and pushing quickly, setting up fast, using those bubbles to get under the basket and score.
Yeah, we are probably actually the last set to finish in round 2, so we'll probably be able to jump straight into round 3.
Yeah, let me see here. Are we able to? Yeah, yeah, we've got confirmation we're going straight in, so
we have Momichis versus Back to the Lab again.
Oh boy. That... I don't know. I'm not like that big in the Smash community, but that Back to the Lab again meme was quite hilarious when it happened.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what the meme was. I just know that it was a meme for a while and IPL ran with it. As far as people on the both teams, I don't know anyone on Momichis Back to the Lab. I have heard of Gigas. I know that they used to be on Inkling. And figured I have a very friendly rivalry with. I affectionately call him the Tryhard Roller. He really likes it. He calls me the Tryhard Charger. We have a good relationship.
Yeah, I know.
He, of course, plays Roller.
I know Strinfert was on Geek Squid at a point, so I know Geek Squid had a huge roster, so I think there's a good chance other members of Momichis could be former members of Geek Squid too. I also know Bradley, I forgot from which team, but Bradley did figure out or have that video on the RNG manipulation tech, and I think that's like back to lab again is a reference to. So I love that name for this team.
Yeah, we get to start off on Splatoon 3. Love this stage. It's great for E-Leader.
I feel like this stage is just great for so many things because there's just so many different kinds of territory to fight for. But I think what a lot of this map comes down to is who's able to control the bridge over the zones here. Oh, we're straight into it. So I'm wondering if we're going to see any walls or sloshers. Those are. Oh, there's a slosher. Wow, convenient.
There's two
Wow,
Sloshers!
two slashers. Yeah, but both of those weapons are very good at exerting range pressure and pressure from elevation on the bridge. At the start, we see both slashers, as I described, pressuring the bridge. So,
I
yeah,
believe
brief
that's the
zones.
Slosher with Bubbles. The Slosher with Bubbles. Yeah, Bubbles
Yep.
trick see the kit in the top right corner, so that's going to be fun to play on zone. Sigurd is down on the side of back to the lab. Just going to call them lab for short. Two down on the side of lab, and one down on the side of Momichis. So it looks like Momichis will get the first cap, probably coming into the zone now with the Bubbles. Not
Oh,
really able to pop them though. That's the hard part with Slosher. It's very hard to pop your own
yeah, Bradley
Bubbles.
tried to get the pop with the sprinkler. However, that's not going to do nearly as much damage as pop. Oh, splashdown for zone. Sigurd gets one. Two down on the side of Momichis, and that's going to be a very quick cap for back to the lab again, and they're gonna have very strong control here as Sigurd sets up all the way in the opponent's plat. Tries to get the slosher, not quite able to. I thought that Curling was gonna get Streetford for a second, but it did not, unfortunately.
Strinford does get the member of Labo as they come out of the inkjet. Bomber's coming out now. Bubble Wilbur coming out. Special from both sides. Ink Armor coming out from Lab as well. They're going to try and really fight hard to get this cap, but one going down, they just respawned, and Sigurd, of course, falls as well. So make that two down on the side of Lab. This is going to be a cap in favor of Momichis.
Yeah,
Also just lobbing shots over. It's just going to keep on continuously neutralizing that one zone.
yeah, this slosher is able to really make it difficult for Lab to push back in since they are able to just keep threatening the ability to push up from that little corner. And the bomb rush comes out, gets two with the bomb rush. Really good job by Strinford getting picks and holding area for Momichis.
Yeah, they got the pick on Gigas and then just picked off the Slosher as well. Momichis finally breaking through the entirety of their penalty, so now they are getting actual points, and they really want those points. The more they can get, the better. Lab has one special ready, make that two special, so we will probably see an armor inkjet. Sigurd does have his splashdown ready to go. We could see a potential splashdown jump here. Missile coming out and armor going out for Momichis as well.
Yeah, Sigurd going in.
Splashdown comes out, not able to find anyone, does force the Sloshes back off a little bit. The 2v1 there takes them out, which is really key. That Slosher has been causing so much problems. You can see that they already have a 12k8, but Momichis has gotten more points while Sigurd was distracted. One down on each side of the field. Strinford jumping in with the Slosher. Sigurd coming in now, trying to get something. Misses the flick, gets one, has a splashdown, gets picked off because of how bad splashdown is now. This is looking pretty solid for Momichis right now.
Yeah, that was overall a very unfortunate retake situation for Lab because they didn't really have anything they could use to get a retake with their comp since Splashdown isn't able to do much. Inkjet isn't great on retakes. Bubbles, if normally they're fine, but the issue with Explo is first off, you're a backload weapon, so you're not going to be bubbling in the front lines, and also you can't really pop them that easily with Explo. Armor is okay as a special for retakes, however, I think it's stronger as a defensive special. So I feel like those specials would have been super strong in a lockout situation. However, unfortunately, Lab was not able to get the solid lockdown that they needed.
Yeah, so let's talk rollers for a quick second. Most of the time, if you see a roller, it's going to be a Flingza or a Carbon. You will see Dynamo. You almost never see any of the vanilla roller or its variants, because most of them are just not great. You've got Splashdown on the vanilla one, which Splashdown is not a good special right now. It's really only reliable if you're jumping in with it. On the Krakon, you have Baller and Beacon. It's not a great kit for the weapon. And then there are just better bubble weapons than the Kensa Roller. Now, it could be a Kensa Roller because I do know that Sigurd plays it. I don't know if they'll swap to that for tower control.
Yeah, I will.
What the roller needs to thrive, though, is a lot of paint. They have that with that Expulsor, so if they get it into a situation where the Expulsor and the Junior are providing a ton of paint for Sigurd, he's gonna go ham. It's just they were never able to get that situation.
I will say, what is nice about the vanilla roller is curling bombs are very good for allowing the weapon to go in situations where it normally wouldn't, since it gives you a path to either retreat with or go in with. So I think that's a large part of why Sigurd likes V-Roller so much, even though its splash out is really not great.
Yeah, so moving on to tower control, Anchovy, Aurelia has swapped over to the custom Hydra. They run the drop on the window area. Very
aggressive.
From a Hydra. Love to see it.
Oh,
not able
Sigurd,
to survive Sigurd, though. Sigurd coming in, getting it to going up onto the fan. Bradley has swapped over to the Blobber Deco on the side of Lab. We love to see the Blobber here, and that is going to provide a ton of paint between the Sprinkler, the Bomb Rush, and of course the main weapon. Gigas has that Inkjet ready to clean out the top area overlooking the office and arcade. Then I think the only other change is that on Momichis we don't have a slosher anymore. I think they were the ones to swap to the K-Shot, I think. No, it's the T-Shot. 3 down on the side of Momichis, and Lab is looking very strong here. Already past 2 checkpoints. And this is where things snowball in Anchovy. They snowball like crazy.
Yeah, Lab, they were able to get very quick early picks, which just allowed them to steamroll really easily, since Not and Roller both excel with aggression. And they're still going, even with multiple members of Momichis shooting them from the top. Not able to get the last checkpoint, however, pushing to 10 is like... Wait, no, they do get it! Oh, I mixed up the teams that went down. My bad. Wow, that was quite the push.
And we got a great shot there at the end of Sigurd doing the ledge camping.
Yeah,
but you can just see the absolute carnage that Back to the Lab can wreck when they hit the lockout situation.
Yeah, I think what the third game is going to come down to is if Momichis allows them to get these lockouts that they want or not. However, I think it might be very difficult for them to stop the lockout situation on Rainmaker Muscle Forge. Muscle Forge is notorious as a strong roller map, so I really would not want to fight Sigurd here.
Notorious in general. It is a specific Rainmaker map. This is one that people traditionally use for gear trades because you can get such a quick knockout on it. If we see somebody flanked over the rail while everybody's looking to the far left and right ramps on that map, it is going to be easy pickings. We are going to be seeing triples and quads like there is no tomorrow.
Yeah, I will say...
Pretty much once you're wiped, it is very hard to come back from a full wipe.
Yeah, definitely. This map is super easy to push on when it comes to push speed. However, I will say there are a lot of high ground areas that can defend early on into the push. So I think a lot of what this map comes down to is just if teams can break that threshold, because like once you get past the high ground areas, there's really nothing stopping Rainmaker. You just gotta run it, and it just comes down to like how many points you can sneak past. So I think that you really have to play fast on your pushes here in order to just break past the snipe in the limited time you have to break it while it may be down.
Same with moving it past that choke point right at the end to get to the pedestal. If you have bubbles, it can be very good for defense defending the Rainmaker there. You don't even have to pop him. You can just sneak him through. Looks like we are starting. And we do see Aurelia's going to stick with the Hydra. Back to the Lab is not going to do comp changes at all, which I think is smart. It's a good comp for this map. Meanwhile, on the side of Momichis, we see Nugget has swapped from the Gray Zap to the Orange Zap, so that is a fast missile spamming weapon. You also have the K-Shots with double missiles. That's going to be absolute pain to deal with on the side of those checkpoints. And then we see a Splash Neo, so that is going to have Bomb Rush for quick pop. Figure going down first of all in the with that. Scrimper's going to get that down. Scrimper, of course, being the one on the Splash Neo. That is a really good weapon. One member of Back to the Lab is jumping out somewhere, not sure exactly where. And the boss bomb does go down. So it looks like early advantage to Momichis, even though they haven't picked the Rainmaker up
yet. Yeah, something I want to just mention about Lab's comp is, okay, first off, that was a very clean flick on the Hydra, but what I was saying is the Junior and Blob are basically the maximum pain you could get. Those weapons just spam out so much pain, so I think they're very good at setting up the Nautilus and Roller, which are like incredibly hungry for pain. However, all of Lab is going to go down. This could be incredibly dangerous, as Momichis can definitely get strong push. However, they haven't taken the Rainmaker yet, and they're choosing to take their time to paint mid and get specials, which could be a wise play, as if they rush in too fast, that could be very bad for them.
Yeah, the Splash does go down to the Roller, make that 2 down to the Roller. Figure's in a good position to do some ledge camping here. Drop into the pit instead, does a quick little jump onto the ramp. Not able to get the pick on the Zap. Nugget will survive to live another day, and now Nugget's behind the Rainmaker here. Does fall to the combination of the Rainmaker and Gigas. If one didn't get them, the other one would. The Hydra is going to get the Rainmaker. Members of Back to the Lab are jumping in, but you can see that a lot of members of Momichis are coming in now, so that's going to be very hard for Lab to grab right now.
Yeah, overall, this game has been what I was talking about earlier, situation where like no team is really able to break past that sniper. The sneaky Rainmaker take. However, multiple members of Momichis are able to stop the Rainmaker. However, Back to Lab again does get 1 point off of that, which could change the outcome of the game. Rainmaker could be very crazy at times.
Yeah, Figure got sniffed out by those missiles, forced to move, tried to stay there as long as he could, not able to do it. 2 members down, make that 3 members down, well, minus the 1 respawn on the side of Momichis and Back to the Lab. Momichis is going to get the lead here. Bob is going to get the pick on the Rainmaker. Bob is such a good defensive weapon on this stage. 3 members down on the side of Momichis, and Bradley is going to pick up that Rainmaker. Sigurd is going to get the flick on the Hydra, has to wait for Splash down to do it. Now in a good position to do some ledge camping. Members of Momichis are going to back up. He gets sandwiched between 2. He's going to go down. So 3v3 on the field right now. Sternford is going to come in from above onto Rainmaker. He gets kind of tied up in that corner. So the Rainmaker will go down, but then Strimfork gets taken out by 2. Figured has jumped in. This is coming out now from the side of Momichis. Figured's going to go straight in. Not able to find anyone with that Roller, which is unfortunate. They really needed that pick there.
2 down, though, for Momichis. They're trying to grab the Rainmaker. However, the Rainmaker is being shot here by the Hydra. Gets a couple of points. Not quite to that 49 mark. It's just going to be Gugas here in mid, not near the Rainmaker. So Momichis is safe for now. However, on Muscle Forge Rainmaker, anything could happen. It can be very easy to get points once you break the opponent's defenses.
Yeah, Momichis is going to let the Rainmaker reset rather than picking it up and moving it. I don't think that's an unwise decision there. It's in a relatively defended area. Sigurd going to come
Sigurd going in?
Gets the flank, manages to pick off the Splash, which is a very key pick because the Splash is 1/2 of the most pains on Momichis, and they really need to get down. 2 down on the side of Back to the Lab, and 2 went down on the side of Momichis briefly. So even numbers on the field overall, and he's going to try and get up into mid somehow. Launches an auto bomb to try and clean people out. Aurelia is going to try and target Sigurd, has to reposition because of that Inkjet. They're getting sandwiched between the Inkjet and Bomb Rush, so they are not in a very good position. They do manage to survive, which is going to be very important for defense.
Yeah, Lab is at a slight disadvantage going to this push. Much bigger disadvantage after that nice double from the Hydra there. Just the Blobber. However, able to pop the Rainmaker and hold mid, Bradley is going to have to get jumps for their team to get back in. Nox able to sneak away from the shot and get the shot, in fact. So Nox seems like, yeah, Nox goes down there. That was just an unfortunate timing to go down for Lab since they needed everyone up for that last push, but unfortunately they staggered just before that moment.
Yeah, really good defense there by Momichis. Actor the Lab just was not able to really get into a position where they had the paint on the map for their two slaying weapons to really do a lot of damage.
Yeah, on Rainmaker, especially on this map, it's very important to make sure that you have enough paint set up to make sure the Rainmaker can go in. And while Back to the Lab again had plenty of raw paint on their comp, Momichis did a really good job using the map control their weapons exerted. Not necessarily paint control, but things like range on Hydra in order to pressure Lab out of key areas that they needed to get into to set up their paint for a push.
Yeah, and also they did a very good job at taking out the weapons that would cripple Back to the Lab's comp. You saw in the first match how they really focused on the two painting weapons. That just crippled that roller into a lesser extent Nautilus.
Yeah, it's very important to make sure that you're targeting the right weapons, since a lot of weapons, like, in many cases, Sigurd's roller, he was just going for trades, are, like, completely cool with going down in some situations.
Yeah, so Nessie's schools are done. Kitty's got to get out of the pool, let the adults have some little bit of time to do the rest of the brackets. Not sure when we'll be back, but before we go to our scheduled commentator break, we have advertisements. I'm sure all of you are very excited about this.
Promotion! Woo!
And we're going to start off and be totally biased and promote our own tournament. Low Ink, which is a 2-day Splatoon 2 tournament for newer and lower level players. Its goal is to give teams a chance to get into the Splatoon 2 tournament scene and gain valuable competitive experience. Its format has a focus on bringing games close to your team's skill level so you can meet teams to practice against. You can learn more on our website at https://lowink.iplabs.inc, or you can do exclamation points, capital L, capital I in the chat. We're fancy, we have commands now.
Another event that IPL is affiliated with, Riptide. It's a LAN happening September 9th through 11th at the Kalahari in Sandusky, Ohio. Play Splatoon, watch Smash, Rivals, and others, and then go down to the water slides or the arcade with your friends. This will be the first LAN to host a Splatoon 3 event on the day of the release. We will also be having a Splatoon 2 event Saturday and Sunday. Sign up today. For those who cannot make the event, it will be streamed right here on IPL Splatoon, so definitely check out Riptide. I will be there, so if you want to say hi to me, please go to Riptide. Very cool tournament. I went there last year. It was very fun.
I will not be there because I'm an antisocial loser. Just kidding. I don't have the money to go. Next year. But it definitely is going to be fun. Highly encourage everyone to watch the stream. Go if you can. I think that's it for our scheduled ad break right now. There will be more later. We are going to take a break, so stay tuned. We'll be back eventually.
Up comes. All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we have the top cut of Swimmer Sync 71, and our first set is going to be versus Vanilla Sky. My name is Turtle. I am joined by Shads. Hi, Shads.
Hello, it's going to be a great first top cut. We've got Haya, we've got Banana, we've got Boopy, and we've got DLK on Vanilla Sky versus Kelp, Nico Chico, Bishop, and Archer on
So both of these teams, I'm like very familiar with like everyone on these teams pretty much. In fact, I was like teammates with like a good four people in this set. So I'm like super excited to see these players play. I've seen them grow as players, storylines and all that. Clamblitz Piranha Pit as our first map. What do you think about this one?
Okay, this is going to be fun to watch. I personally don't like playing on it, but I also really don't like playing on Piranha Pit, so I'm biased. But it is fun to watch. We saw this map earlier on Splat Zones. It's going to favor a lot of weapons that can do either midline type stuff, like, for example, Bamboozler, Jet, Blobber, but you're also going to favor weapons that can really take advantage of those conveyor belts, like the Slosher.
Yeah, there's like a lot of different options that can work on Clam's Pit, but I feel like you have to. It's best if you play something that does have at least some way to work around the map. Like weapons, I've noticed weapons that are just kind of neutral on a lot of maps, like shots, for example, aren't like particularly great here. Oh, we're going into alright. So let's see what these teams have to offer of their comps here.
Ooh, we see a Range Blaster, a Grim Range Blaster. You do not see those too often. Range Blasters really got kind of a short end of a stick when it comes to kits in this game, and then we have the RNG as well with the shots, so it's very hard to see them, and they require a lot of paint. So interestingly enough, is not running a very paint-heavy comp per se. Their painting weapon is the end that the Jet will be able to take some paint, of course. And I think the Jet already used one Stingray. Two down on the side of Vanilla Sky, meanwhile, has a Fire Fin Splat Character. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Not a bad weapon here for Clamblitz or Splat Zones. The walls will help. Vanilla Sky is going to get the first basket pop here, and Boopy on the Splatomatic, which we have seen them play time and time again here on IPL streams, is going to really do some damage.
Yeah, so Vanilla Sky is going to get a very strong early push. It seems like Banana's going to get a few more in even. And that's a full wipe, so they couldn't get a knockout here even. They just need a few more clams to get it. And it seems Haya has at least two of those clams. Oh, they only need two more. That's going to be the knockout if Haya can score them. And Haya does. Wow, the one push knockout. Very impressive start from Vanilla Sky there.
Oh, Vanilla Sky was hungry for some ink. It's almost a shame that it ended so quickly, because I really wanted to see what that Range Blaster could do.
Yeah, Bishop is like an incredibly fun player to watch on the Range Blaster since he's been like one-tricking that thing for ages, and he's got like some incredible pop-off potential on that weapon. But unfortunately, as you mentioned, the thing with OzComp, with the K-Pro and Range Blasters, well, those weapons are like very scary with the kills they can get. They do not paint much at all, and that lack of paint definitely showed there as Vanilla Sky was very quickly able and easily able to gain turf and move in against them.
Yeah. I think I got a little spooked.
Yeah, they just were like, when Vanilla Sky ran in, which is why their name is
Yep.
I'm sure.
So the question is now, though, will they be able to do the same thing on Splat Zones? And by they, I mean Vanilla Sky. I mean, it's a painting mode.
I feel like it's a bit harder to do on Splat Zones since you need to sustain your push for a lot longer than Clamblitz, but I definitely think both of these teams could be very scary here. Archer switching from the K-Pro to the K-Gal, it seems like Vanilla Sky is mostly stayed the same, however.
Yeah, Vanilla Sky is running the same comp. Meanwhile, only change is the K-Pro to the K-Gal, which is going to be very good here. The walls can really wall off those two narrow parts of the zone. 3 down on the side of also it's looking like a very quick repeat of the first game BLK is going to be on top mid, providing jump to teammates. High is going to go off to the right. Boopy's staying around by the exit. Don't have optics on the last one. Nope, they are. Bananas painting up for more armor for teammates. Bomb Rush Bomb coming out. Stingray coming out. All specials coming out from pretty much everyone who's got them.
Yeah, right here, Oz trying to push in, however, with Bishop going down, it's going to be a bit more difficult. Archer is able to get behind the enemy. Archer, very scary Slayer, not someone you want behind you. It seems with Bishop jumping in, is sustaining their push. They do get one down on Vanilla Sky 3v3 situation. Archer is able to pick off Haya, and that is going to allow them to cap the zone. So now, with the C-Jet and Grim, very strong weapons on lockouts, this could be scary for Vanilla Sky to get back in, especially since Charger is a weapon that often struggles to get back in. What is DLK doing here?
So this is actually something that I do a lot when I'm running a weapon like a Charger on this map. I will actually hide up in that attic and make people think that I'm positioning somewhere else.
Oh, that's smart.
Also, with passive special charge that you get when the other team has the zone, DLK doesn't manage to actually get a cap. So Bomb Rush is very tricky to use on this stage because the zone is so big and that central tower makes it hard to cap with the Bomb Rush effectively. 2 down on the side of Vanilla Sky, Talking Bang getting a beautiful direct there with Mr. Range Blaster. You can see that he's in a very powerful spot. He can pick off anybody that's in that attic and really force them away. And also keep an eye on the right-hand side. It's in favor of now it's Vanilla Sky's turn to rush in. 3 down on the side of Vanilla Sky. So it's going to get the cap. The Ray is going to come out to force DLK down off of the platform. And just as quickly as the first game was over, this game goes in favor of
I just want to talk about the amazing 1v1 versus the Zap that Kelp had at the end. Zap versus Junior is a very difficult fight often because Junior is a lot more random than Zap and a little shorter range, but Kelp was able to position in the perfect spot to pick off the Zap, and I think if he lost that fight, definitely would have been able to hold that at the end, so very good job by Kelp fighting there, and as a whole with the one push lockout. This is the second one push lockout we've seen so far this set, Shads.
We are 2 for 2. Yeah. Can we get a 3 for 3 with tower control Starfish? Probably not. But if we did, that'd be fun.
Tower control is a lot harder to steamroll on, especially considering that Starfish has some of the most extreme high ground in the game. So I definitely don't expect a three-peat of the one-push lockout trend. However, I will say that what we saw from the previous games is these teams play very aggressive and don't really have that many defensive resources with their play style. So I think that's going to make it a really fun rest of the set to watch.
Yeah, only comp change we see here is a slight one on Vanilla Sky. DLK swapping over to the Vanilla Splatter Scope rather than the Fire Fin that they were using. Members of both teams are going to get to mid as quickly as possible. Banana already has armor. You can see the Stingray is out from that very fast Stingray charging C-Jet. Tenta Missiles coming out now from Vanilla Sky to give that weapon some problems. Overall fight for mid. 1 down on the side of 1 down, 2 down on the side of Vanilla Sky. That blaster putting in work. Banana's going to back up over to the first checkpoint. So first grab of the tower will be going to
Yeah, early on, it looked really bad having Kelp go down. However, Bishop was very patient and recognized the enemy moving up and positioned perfectly to punish that. However, Oz push is going to end in Steams with the Zap going down once again. The Rain not able to get much, unfortunately for them. And the armor and missiles ready for Vanilla Sky might mean they have their own counter push. However, the shot does go down. Oh, that was an instant kill on Archer. Really good use of the bomb rush on the wall there.
Yeah, really using Archer's own wall against him. Talking Man coming into mid, gets into a 3v1 between Boopy and the K-Shot and the Charger. Charger getting that pick, of course. Boopy going to escape off across the gap, launch out missiles. So both teams have made one push, and we have not seen the knockout. Unfortunately, no 3-peat today.
Yeah, this is like a lot harder of a map to break through on with a lot of low ground beyond mid. However, with 2 going down for off, Vanilla Sky could see their chance to push here. Nico Chico jumps out with his Ray, ready to defend the tower. Kelp also ready to defend the tower, looking right over it, and still no push it seems.
Yeah, so both members of Vanilla Sky save their special, so they have Armor and Ray ready for a counter push, which usually the instinct is you see have a Ray and the other team is using their Ray is to use theirs. It's going to force them to play fucking dang, getting a beautiful combination there, a beautiful direct on Banana 2 down on the side of Vanilla Sky. Ben is putting in a lot of work. BLK is still in mid, so they are going to provide jumps in from the teammate, which all good anger should do. Provide jumps for your teammates, people. They're going to rotate the type, which is smart. You don't want to be hanging around in mid too often as a charger.
Right here, it seems that what we see a lot is picks from one team, but then soon after, the teams usually get a revenge kill. And what's strange about the revenge kills is they're not instant. It looks like it's just kind of a delayed thing. So these teams are just going neck and neck right now. However, it seems like this might be an actual opportunity to push with no one ready to defend the tower from snipe for And that's the first checkpoint broken. 3 minutes in, we finally have a checkpoint break in this game. So very defensive. Oh, unfortunate death for Bishop there. So this might be difficult for Odd to defend because of that. However, Bishop, with the quick respawn, able to get straight back in. And it seems like the tower isn't going to get too much further with multiple members of Odd shooting the tower. Banana tries to sneak out points. It gets a few, but that is going to be the end of Vanilla Sky's push. However, Odd does have mid and is close to specials that they can use to counter push back in.
Yeah, 37 respectful number on Starfish main stage for Tower Control. Stingray coming out from Oz. They begin their counter push. You can see 2 members of Vanilla Sky coming in through the attic area. Yeah, it does manage to get the blaster, which has been giving them a lot of problems all game. Armor coming out now from we do see that the Booyah is online as well, so that's ready to be popped at a moment's notice. I was going to try and rush him down. Managed to get the blaster. That's honestly a pretty fair trade, but I would think that goes in favor of actually Odd, because they lost a blaster. Vanilla Sky lost their second best painter.
Yeah, also Bishop is running that quick respawn, which makes him going down a lot less costly in general.
Yeah, all specials coming out that have them for Oz. Talking Ben is going to be over on mid area trying to keep out all those little flanks clear. High again is to find a pick on the Gallon. Missiles coming out now on to the member of Haya. Haya also goes down to those missiles. Stingray coming out. Bet they wish to save those missiles for that because that is going to cause them problems. You can see now that the Stingray is coming out from a counter ray. We don't really see those fights too often. Bananas, of course, way out the top left. Try and survive that. They do manage to do it, but they are not really there to defend that first checkpoint anymore.
Archer pushing into top left here uses the Booyah to sustain his push a little more beyond his wall. Bishop also helping in top left. Nico, however, is alone on the tower. He could potentially get rushed, and it seems like Banana's trying to do that. He gets the tower. However, Bishop's still on tower. It's going to be close here, right down to the wire. Oh, they barely get it!
So with the slight little jump that people have to do to get on the tower after they climb the wall of the tower, that was just enough time for Oz to get that last point.
Yeah, I was a little worried.
We are talking frames, milliseconds here.
Yeah, at the end I was a little worried for Oz push because they had half of their team on top left, and Kelp went down, who I believe was near the tower. So I was like worried that they were going to get rushed out, but that was a really smart play by Bishop at the end, going back to the tower, knowing that Nico might get rushed, and that play ultimately allowed him to stay on the tower just a little more to edge out that lead.
Yeah, Nico did get rushed because Nico did go down to Banana. Banana almost clutched that out. Things are down for the wire now for Vanilla Sky. They lose this one, they're out, it's done, finito, see you next week.
Yeah, on Rainmaker in particular, considering how fast the first 2 games ended, Rainmaker is probably the most notorious mode for quick knockouts. This could be very dangerous for Vanilla Sky. However, the quick pushes could definitely be in their favor, and I would not be shocked if we see it Game 5, because these teams have been neck and neck so far this set.
And honestly, I hope we do it because it's just been so exciting to see the two of them play.
For sure. This is like really fun Splatoon to watch because both these teams are playing like super aggressive and going for like a lot more fights than you normally see.
No changes from either team. Actually, wait, no, there is one
Kagao
change.
switching
Archer
to
has
Kagao.
swapped. Yeah, I just caught that. But other than that, no changes.
Yeah, most of
Stingray,
these players are one tricks, pretty comfortable with their weapons.
yeah, Stingray coming out from already. We have seen that quick ray time and time again from that CJ. Banana not able to find a pick on the member of over on the right. Missiles coming out from Vanilla Sky. Counter missiles coming out now from So we are very quickly again seeing specials just getting chucked everywhere, willy nilly.
Yeah, overall, very quiet neutral so far, since neither of these teams wants to make a move, since if they go into aggro, they could easily be pushed very fast. Ooh, the Rainmaker grab before the pick from no members behind to defend, just DLK coming off of the respawn, trying to shoot the Rainmaker. However, he's alone, has the Stingray, but it might be a little too late. Nico already able to get the Rainmaker to 37, but with two members going down, Oz push might be over. Kelp tried to stay near the Rainmaker to get something, has to back up though. Wise decision considering that the members of Vanilla Sky are going to respawn, but 37, very strong lead early on in this map.
Yeah, 37 can win games on this map if you have a situation where you see a lot of extended neutral gameplay. Something then coming over onto the right to try and see if they can get a cheeky little pick on somebody. Force it back up though because of that armor. Yeah, he was pretty dead there. 2v1, water behind him, no time to jump out. As soon as he jumped out, it looks like one member of did jump out, which is smart.
Yeah, definitely moving into a more defensive game state here. You can see them building their specials very quickly in the top bar, and the missiles come out too. This could be a very explosive mid-fight for them. However, missiles come out for both teams, so it seems we're going to have another neutral situation. Maybe having a little more territory here, but Vanilla Sky does have two specials. With Bishop going down and armor out, this could be very scary for Archer backing up accordingly. Kelp also deciding to back up and paint the court for armor.
Yeah, Kelp wants to get that armor as quickly as possible. They are pretty close to it. They do have it. They launch it before they die. Haya managed to get that pick. Then coming up, doesn't manage to find anyone. Actually, wait, no, looks like that actually did. So 3 down on the side of Vanilla Sky. DLK is going to be the only one. Not able to jump out in time. A little greedy there with that last shot. Tried to get a quick little pick before they could escape. Not able to find it.
Yeah, it seems that is choosing to set up on left. Left is the slower of the two push options, being left and right. However, it is oftentimes much safer since there's a lot less high ground to contend against the Rainmaker there.
Yeah, really, really there. Haya's gonna rush the Rainmaker. If that turret shot had gotten off, the first one would have been dead. 2 down on the side of And honestly, this isn't the worst position for Vanilla Sky to be in. They don't have the lead yet, but they also have very strong ping control in mid and over on the left-hand side. Haya's gonna charge forward into this area to try and see if they can get some more ping control for the Rainmaker. Ray coming out, missiles coming out, Stingray coming out from Vanilla Sky, and
the counter
this is going to be very, very big. You can see people are really trying to get that Rainmaker down. Boopy TV1 busy on the right.
We're close to lead. 38.
Got to get 1 point.
That was so close.
That's so close. So far, 1 point is everything.
Boopy's still behind.
Oh.
The Rainmaker still is in very dangerous spot for and not reset. However, with 2 down for Vanilla Sky, it's not looking good for the attempt to stay put. Banana runs for it, not able to get to the Rainmaker, and that's going to be a reset. However, Vanilla Sky does still have another minute to beat 37, which is a very beatable lead on this map. Rainmaker points come by really fast. 2 members down for This could be the opportunity that Vanilla Sky needs to get the lead here.
We have to get a pick on that C-Jet. That C-Jet has Ray, and it is coming out.
Ray's for both teams.
Banana's going for it. Can he get it? Can he get it? Can he get it? He got it. He got it. He got it.
Yeah, really good use of the counter ray from DLK there, eliminating the danger of Nico's ray on the Rainmaker, which is Oz's strongest tool to stop Rainmaker pushes.
Yeah, Archer gets a good pick on Haya right there. 16 seconds remaining. Does have the Rainmaker in their possession, but they are already losing time on that timer. You only have 60 seconds maximum with that Rainmaker missile coming out from Archer to try and find some members of the Vanilla Sky. Looks like they're going to opt to take it straight up through the street, which is very, very risky.
Archer on the flank. This could be very dangerous. However, Rain does come out. Boopy, Sharkin ready to pick off the Rainmaker, and that is going to get the Rainmaker. Very back and forth game. That was really close. Wow.
That was really good team coordination from Vanilla Sky there at the end. You had the different members positioned on the flanks to catch the Rainmaker depending on which way it went due to the Ray. It just happened to go for Boopy instead of Haya.
Yeah. Overall, that was just a really... I feel like both teams had a lot of opportunities to push, but also both teams really knew how to use their defensive resources to their best capacity that game. We saw, like, I feel like Rays were used at pretty much the best times they could have throughout that game. Like, we saw a lot of situations where one player would have a Ray for defense at the right time, but the other player would also have a Ray ready to shut down the Ray.
Yeah, and if it wasn't a Ray, it was missiles, and if it wasn't missiles, it was armor.
Yeah. So, Game 5, like, back and forth set so far, really exciting. Clamblets on Macromart. This is a very quick to push in map with how small it is compared to a lot of other Clamblets maps.
Yeah, and given how quickly Vanilla Sky just ripped through with Clamblets on Piranha Pit, this is gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, I definitely could see getting their own quick win, though, however, considering how well they performed on Zone's Inkblot. I think a lot of it is going to come down to how well these teams can control elevated areas. I think Grim could be very scary for doing so. Both teams sticking with the same comp. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Now, only slight change, BLK jumping back over to that fire fin that they've used time and time again. And Archer has changed back to K-Gal, which honestly is a very good weapon here between the walls, Booyah displacement. Two specials coming out from right away. Archer's going to come into the breakfast area to try and see if they can get onto the stack. Not able to find them. First two down on the side of so BLK is going to push up to this right stack. 3 down now on the side of Nico Chico is going to be backed way up, and with BLK on this right stack, they are in a very strong position. That Charger can reach so much right there. Clam basket is now open. We don't have a lot of clams going into it, though.
Yeah, this was a very scary situation for However, they are able to get control back, and it seems like this is going to be the end of Vanilla Sky's push. I think that the issue with early game pushes is a lot of the time it can be difficult to get clams. I feel like if the same push happened later, Vanilla Sky could have scored many more clams than 50. Don't get me wrong, 50 is still a very strong first push, and it's going to be pretty difficult for to break that, but oftentimes early, there's just less clams on the board.
Yeah, really, with less clams on the board, you want to, like, delay a little bit, you want to build up your stock, because, of course, every time you push, you get that penalty. 2 down on the side of 1 down on the side of Vanilla Sky. Looking to respawn, they're jumping in right there, so they're in a good position for another push. They have a power clam built. Banana Berry's going to go after the people over on the left. One does go down on the side of Vanilla Sky, though. So that push, I think, is going to get a little bit tough in your fact. You can see BLK there, repositioning, backing up, hauling back, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, right here, it seems is getting more territory with their specials at going out. However, Vanilla Sky is playing this smartly, backing up, letting go into them. However, Bishop is able to push in with teammates and get 2 picks here. A third, that shot looked like it might have been going down there, but Shot was able to smartly back up. So we're back to another neutral situation with a slight advantage on the side of Oh, that was close. That flick almost landed on Boopy there.
Almost looks like it just barely hit the floor instead. Boopy is probably very, very thankful that it did. Missiles ready on the side of Vanilla Sky, as well as the bomb rush, which is coming in into the area by Basket, and that's going to really prevent coming in. Missiles coming out, the Stingray is coming out. Archer does manage to get, looks like 2 along with the Ray, so that is going to be the end of Vanilla Sky's push. The Charger does jump out. Very smart play there. But a push 23. 23 is very good. Not unbeatable on this map, though, by any means. And you have the Booyah ready on the side of Ah. So Ah is going to use that. You see missiles are ready. They do go one down, but one is also down.
Whoa.
Two down on the side of Vanilla Sky. I think that
Just
three
the
down hit is
splash.
going
And the
to
splash is
be
missile too.
big. This is going to be big.
Yeah, right here has a really good situation. The thing with Vanilla Sky's last push is they left them down to just one. That's lead! That's lead! With the pity clap, Kelp is able to jump in and score the lead. And it seems like they're still going with Nico getting the burst bomb. Is he going to score this? Scores one. I don't know if they'll be able to extend it further, but still 18 on one push. That's incredible points from It's very beatable for Vanilla Sky, though. They only need a power clam and a few more clams to get their lead back.
Yeah, one power clam, 4 whittle clams. Meanwhile, if Ah wants to get a lead back in their favor, assuming that this theoretical lead change does.
Oh, Archer on the flank.
Archer on the
Vanilla
flank
Sky is trying to push.
at least one here, maybe? No, he gets sniffed out, but that really delayed
That's
Vanilla
gonna be the
Sky.
lead.
Oh, one more!
And the knockout!
That
Wow.
was insane. Honestly, I think one of the best sets we've seen on SOS.
Yeah, that was such a fun set to watch. We saw so many aggressive plays from so many players in that game. I was really expecting Archer's flank at the end to be explosive because a K-Gal behind you that seemed to be unnoticed is never something you want. However, the members of Vanilla Sky did a very impressive job reacting as fast as possible to the K-Gal flank before the K-Gal was able to do anything. I feel like if Archer was able to get even one pick off there, that could have been a very different ending to that game.
Yeah, especially if they had gotten the ball carrier.
Yeah.
It would have definitely changed the tide a lot.
Well,
so Vanilla Sky will move on in this tournament. Played well. Great to watch him. And it was a pleasure commentating with you, Turtle, but I think our time here is done. We've got other people that want to talk.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me tonight, Chad. It's like really fun tournament to commentate overall, especially that last set. Wow, that was crazy. But we're going to turn it over to our next set of commentators in a moment. Stay tuned. I've commentated with, I believe, both of these players or commentators before. They're both like fantastic commentators. You definitely want to stick around for the rest of the tournament, so please stay tuned. But that's going to be all from me and Chad's. You can find us on Twitter there. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another lovely SOS. My name is Skepidillions, and I am here with the fantastically talented and my partner on the mic many times, iMad Gamer. How are you tonight, iMad?
I am doing just fine indeed. I'm super excited to be getting into these matches. We are in the top cut. First match is going to be bebos versus BELICOS beans.
It sure is. So we did a little bit of digging on both of these teams before we brought on. I would like to point out MDuck on BELICOS Beans, who is has won SOS in the past, so is probably going for another SOS championship in their Twitter bio. Some interesting comps there in terms of what they're going to be bringing to the table. Obviously, Taylor on the K shot, Kaisa on the 96, Tororo. I hope to see Blob from them. I did catch that on Nursendo, so you know me with the Blob bias. And then on the side of La Bebos, we have mostly a Micklin Heroes pickup with Dafter, Lex, and Cass, but also Chicha and One Shot there filling out that roster.
Sounds like we're going to be having some quite maneuvering and aggressive comps. No backlines from what you just listed, correct?
No, actually, we do have One Shot on the side of La Bebos, who I've been seeing them play C-Jet significantly more lately, but a very, very talented Charger player. And then, that in terms of for BELICOS Beans, there are no backlines there other than the C-Jet. They have two C-Jet players, Tororo and Kaisa.
So this will be a very fast-paced and fun match to watch. We do have Rainmaker and Clambit, which usually favor the more maneuvering and aggressive comps. A lot of times you'll see, except for perhaps in the exception to Rainmaker with C-Jet and Stingray in play, most teams go for a full midline to frontline comp. So we'll have to see what these two bring to the table. But there are two zones modes in this set. So we will have the chance for a more, I guess, defensive comp if they so choose.
Yeah, I look at this map pool and I immediately think of One Shot performing very, very well on both Splat Zones Wahoo and Tower Control Sturgeon. I also think that this pool will set them up pretty well on Rainmaker Manta with either a B-Jet or a C-Jet, just because of how narrow and compressed it can be. Stingray can be very damaging there. If this bleeds out to a game 4 or 5, I do see the favor of the matches switching to for BELICOS Beans. Simply because of their shorter range comp, and a blob on Splat Zone's Humpback can be extremely difficult for anyone to deal with. But to counter that and play devil's advocate, we do have Dafter on La Bebos playing buckets, which can obviously be very situationally advantageous on Splat Zone's Humpback.
There's definitely a lot of places for the buckets to really shine, a lot of unusual terrain that will come into their favor.
Is there anything you look forward to seeing in particular here, Emma?
Ooh, I do like the opening maps for this first set here. Wahoo, Sturgeon, and Manta, they definitely have a lot of good places for a backline or charger player. So I think, as you said before, La Bebos, for their backline player, I would be super excited to see them come into play.
Yeah, I honestly, I love Zones Wahoo. It's one of my favorite map modes in the whole game. Particularly because of how it sets up backline and just how much space there is to control. It does tend to, it looks like a map mode that can snowball, just because once a team gets a lock and hold, that hold tends to be very strong just because of how large the map mode is and how long it takes the team that's coming out of spot in order to break back in. But I think that's what makes it really fascinating, honestly. Just because there's so much paint for teams to be able to take space and charge special and try and figure out how to control. And you physically on Zones Wahoo, unlike other map modes, you can't be watching the whole map at the same time unless your team is positioned very, very well. So I like that. And I do hope to see a leader, honestly, there in the hands of One Shot. I think that would be really cool.
I would have to agree with you there. There is a bit of that like no man's land in between the zone and the spawn, where it's basically the lowest point of the map, as you have your high ground for the zone and your high ground for the spawn. So getting into that area, while as you said, it is a bit of a wide map if you're not looking you can't really look in all directions at once. So it is possible to slip through, but it is incredibly difficult to get through that middle area.
Okay, and here we go. We do see bebos running a shorter range comp with that CDS being the longest, or the 96 being the longest range that they have on there. And oh, would you check this out? We have One Shot, whose username is the 0 there, on the E-leader, as predicted. Probably going to pop off here.
I certainly hope so. E-leader is incredibly difficult to use, and I am expecting great things from this kit. We do see 2 members of bebos going down in the first gambit here. And it's going to be the zone in favor of Beans, and they are setting up for their first defensive hold.
Yeah, and we can see the K machine there playing underneath that ledge very, very well, going to smartly jump out before they got picked, but putting enough pressure there in order to keep the CDS from dropping. Getting below 50 in this opening push is pretty important just because of how the lock and holds work, like I mentioned before we started here. We have bebos trying to break back in, and they do manage to cap getting the pick on the Zap and the K-Shot as well. Those are 2 specials that are going to be very important for BELICOS Beans in terms of breaking back into the zone. So getting those picks is pretty critical at this stage of the game.
And on top of that, being able to stack their specials in the right way, as we just saw here, in order to take back the zone. We have the missiles and the rain going out, along with a bomb rush that really just pushed Beans back into their own spawn, and so they're going to have to counter with their own specials in order to get back in. We do see the 1 member of bebos going down here, but we do see a return, a little bit of a 1v1 going over this right side.
Yeah, and that does end up in a 3v3 situation with bebos temporarily getting control of the zone. I would say that break back in was very strong from BELICOS Beans in terms of popping the storm and then the armor and then the missiles, and that was what enabled them in order to break back in and take control of the zone. They are working through their penalty points rather clear, and we do see bebos in a rather tricky situation with 3 of them down on that low ground like you mentioned. They have plenty of time, as that is how the map mode works, but they do have to be smart about it in terms of getting that penalty on the board. And then, there we go. Speak of the devil.
Looks like bebos are back in control, but unfortunately go 3 down, so it's going to flip right back to Beans. I'm liking the choices in weapons here. I say the No Man's Land is a little bit difficult to maneuver, but if you're able to safely set up there, the bombs and if the bucket are able to get some significant paint down on the zone without actually having to get up onto the high ground.
Yeah, and those caps are really critical, but as long as, in my opinion, as long as One Shot is on the board, those jumps are going to be fast and furious from BELICOS Beans in terms of just breaking back in. Splashdown kill from Dapper there, and 3 down on the side of bebos. This is most likely going to seal the deal just because of how large the map is. Even with these missiles coming online, bebos is most likely just not going to have time to break back in. And there it is. That is game 1 to BELICOS Beans.
Yeah, unfortunately the missiles did come in a little bit late. They're very good for just pushing the enemy out of position, trying to put them in a position you want them to be in, but unfortunately most of the other team was still respawning and didn't have a chance to get to the zone in time. So this will be the first match to Beans here, and we're going to be moving on to Tower Control Sturgeon.
Yeah, so my question from here is, we do see a one shot on the Charger tonight. That is something that I see them continuing for Tower Control Sturgeon. I think a Firefin, V-Charger, E-Leader are all very, very, very solid options here. Obviously, a C-Jet or a V-Jet is still a good pick. You can't go wrong with that in terms of the paint output, but I do think that One Shot is feeling the leader tonight. They were holding their ground and not going down, so I think we'll continue to see that. So the question for BELICOS Beans is, what do they do about this? They do have Taylor on that K-Shot. We know Kaisa can play Mini and C-Jet, and most likely V-Jet. They do play C-Jet. I did see that on their Sendo. But other than that, the potential for a double missile comp on the side of for BELICOS Beans can definitely happen. So I'm curious to see what they will bring out.
Indeed. The double missiles, I think, in this map in particular, because most of the checkpoints for the tower are grouped on that one side of the map. There's really only a few defensive positions they can take out, but having missiles just to push them out of those defensive positions will be incredibly helpful. But as you said, the C jet having the, or even the V jet again with the missiles, but just having that Stingray special might also come in handy.
Yeah, I think with the sea jet on the side of La Bebos could be very, very useful. It's just it's such a wide map, and here we go. We do see the V jet coming out for those missiles, for the information and the forced relocation on the side of Kaisa, and then we also see one shot once again on the V leader. So very similar comps to what we were seeing last game, except now we do see La Bebos running double missile.
Yeah, it's double missile and have a little bit more range to just counter the extended reach of the E leader here. We do see the 3 members going down. Having the not only just the V jet but the double missiles will also come in handy for specifically countering that E leader, because he has some really wide view from just certain positions. It's a very open map if you can get at the high enough ground.
We do see La Bebos taking this to a 3v3 situation, tapping, getting to that first checkpoint, but Doctor and a teammate cleaning up in Fight Club, getting 2 down, so it is for BELICOS' Beans time in order to push here and getting another pick on the board. Clearing this first checkpoint can be extremely difficult, is an understatement, especially when we do have Kaisa there popping those missiles. They are going to brute force that with 2 or 3 members there on the tower. This does look like a potential snowball situation, but look, Tororo coming in for the flank!
Ooh, that armor just barely saved those last members of Beans here, able to survive long enough to take a dip of their own.
Yeah, you know, just gonna eat yourself off the map there. We see you.
Nonetheless, they were able to get it to that last checkpoint and down to 30 points. You're mentioning the snowball effect, and even the snowball effect is even more deadly on this particular map because it is only the 2 checkpoints. That's just one less checkpoint for them to have to get through. It is entirely possible for bebos to bring this back, but they are a couple of man down at the moment.
And just look at the picks on the board right now. We do see that Zap has 7 KA. So just the armor timing from that Zap there is most likely impeccable. Lex in a cheeky 2v1 does get picked by Taylor and Totoro. It's just Dexter in the corner going to get one pick, trying to trade out. Oh my gosh, the splash pad coming out. The tower is past that second checkpoint. As La Bebos does manage to clean up there, but they have to deal with Lex in the corner. That's going to keep them on their toes. Temporarily, I should add. They did just get Lex.
That was a very well played by the Slosher there. They weren't able to quite get the pick, but they stayed long enough to be a bit of a distraction. They were able to allow their teammates to get through that checkpoint, getting it down to 9, and just really utilizing the sponge very well just as a bit of a cover as they took on that 1v1.
Yeah, and that stall did allow teammates to jump back in and clear that second checkpoint before La Bebos could even notice. It went past me right as well. We do see Tororo pushing up, getting a pick on Doctor, but Chicha does clean that up. Lex is in position to fight this jet here, but it does look like there's somebody over to their right. Those missiles coming back out. La Bebos sitting pretty. They quite possibly in this 2v2 situation could clear this checkpoint. But as I say that, one shot does clean that up.
That was quite unfortunate at the end there. They got pretty darn close to that checkpoint. We do see all members here coming back to take on just another fight in the middle. All is back to a 4v4, and so not quite ready for another push just yet. There's just a bit of a contention for paint and map control at the moment.
Now the members of Fort BELICOS Beans, most importantly in this situation, one shot know exactly where every single member of La Bebos is as those missiles do come out. It is La Bebos right there with their backs against the wall with the fire under their feet. They are the ones that need to push. So Fort BELICOS Beans can just can just keep an eye on the situation, remain calm and collected, and try and live. These picks here from Taylor, though, 2 down on the for BELICOS Beans. That is huge. One Shot does manage to clean it up, but knowing that those 2 players are coming out of spawn is going to give bebos a little bit of time to break back in the mid, try and find an angle to get One Shot and Dafter out of this snipe.
And as you said before, their backs to the wall. We're down to the last 30 seconds, so they are running out of time if they're going to want to make their move. That double pick there by Taylor was coming very handy, but unfortunately the Sloshers coming back in turn, taking on picks of their own, and so they are a little bit cornered in their own spawn at the moment.
Yeah, they are, especially with 4 BELICOS Beans on the tower again, so there's so much more ground for bebos to cover. 6 seconds remaining, and Taylor Adam being the only one out of spawn is going to go down. 4 BELICOS Beans extending their lead a little bit at the end there, taking game 2 on TC Surgeon.
That was honestly quite impressive. If they had just a couple more seconds to continue their push, they might have gotten the knockout.
They may have, honestly. We did see bebos there staggered at the end. And look at the picks on the board. Honestly, Dafter, while fragging very well, the picks that they were able to get were critical picks. They were smart picks. They were picks that enabled 4 BELICOS Beans to take space in the pushback in the mid, or to maintain control. Especially at the end there, getting that double, and then the pick on Taylor behind Spinner. Just very, very well played there from 4 BELICOS Beans.
Absolutely. Now we are going to be moving on to our Rainmaker Manta Maria. Going to be going away from the more, backline favored tower control splat zones to a more aggressive favored mode. Do you think we're going to see the E-Leader returning, or we might see a couple more Stingrays come into play?
I don't expect the E-Leader. I will be 100% honest. Because I do know One Shot plays C-Jet, and if there is a time to bring out C-Jet, it is right now. Just because of how narrow Rainmaker Manta is, and how useful Stingray can be in shutting down a cut push from that left side. There's a lot more reasons to play C-Jet here than there are to play E-Leader, despite how deadly it can be in One Shot's hands.
And while it is a bit open in the middle, because the street area is a bit more, tight, and so I think the C-Jet would also come in more handy because of the shooter qualities, as well as that Stingray, just a little bit more handy in close quarter combat.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, honestly. There's a lot of places to get tripped up on Rainmaker Manta and to cluster up. And that C-Jet, being able to handle a closer range fight a little bit better than an E-Leader could. We do see Kaisa bringing out the Nautilus. That is very, very spicy. I do personally love Nautilus on Rainmaker Manta. And there we go. One shot on the C-Jet.
We are seeing both teams going to the mid here. No one going, not quite a pop. Oh, there's the pop right there. bebos getting that beginning pop. Missiles are already online, just a bit of a scouting there. They're trying to push up on this right side here, but it's going to be difficult getting sandwiched between 3 members as well as the missiles. They are able to jump out in time.
Yeah, and we do see bebos taking the opening gambit. Kaisa trying to push into street, but Dafter shutting that down. Those physics are going to be extremely useful in terms of shutting down this angle. The Rainmaker does try and rotate right, but does get picked by the Stingray on that flat. So a little bit of moment for BELICOS to breathe. The Rainmaker is in a comfortable position for them, and in a good place for BELICOS Beans counter push just straight across.
They are going to be picking this up as we see 2 members of bebos still down, coming back from spawn at the moment. This is an excellent place for this bucket to be set up here in their bunker. They have a good range from basically the entire bebos street, just able to completely shut it down from the safety of the bunker, as well as continuing to keep paint going.
Yeah, and great picks there from the K-Shot on the side of BELICOS Beans. And in another pick on elbow, it does look like this push is in danger, especially with that jump being camped by Adam. They are going to be picked by Lex, but can Lex take the 2v1? Does get the pick on Taylor before being followed up by Tororo there. able to break back into street just a little bit of time to breathe as that storm comes out. It's Rainmaker. This Rainmaker Manta is not comfortable in terms of a lead until you drop into pit, and even then, if it's just barely into pit, you're still sweating for the rest of the game. So all these gamers here are still know that they have to make at least one really good push in order to win.
And with still 3 minutes left in the game, there is time for anything to happen.
That's the truth.
See some nice inkjet plays coming from the Nautilus here. Is a bit of a stalemate. Each team just trying to poke at each other, seeing when the other is going to be making a move. As both teams, oh, we do see the bucket going down, and this might be the opening they need. They're going to be taking out this left side this time.
Yeah, pushing left is good. Especially given how controlled it can be. Street can be a little bit of claustrophobic, but that left push does leave that CDS a little bit more room to dodge roll. We do see one shot, an expert on that Stingray getting the pick. Lex and Dafter get that pop. They know that Nautilus is there, and they do have a good position on them, but also Taylor on their bunker is a significant threat in terms of breaking back in onto the field, especially with these missiles coming online.
We do see the Rainmaker respawn in the center, but all members of both teams are up with 2 specials for the side of bebos. It looks like this is going to be another push as Taylor is still in control of the enemy bunker here. I said that keeping control of the bunker is pretty key, and that goes for across all modes for Manta Maria. It is most of the traveling modes, you have to get through their street or around their bunker in some matter or form, and so just being able to control that will help their chances quite a bit.
And we do see Alex popping those missiles in order to keep the members of bebos from forcing cut there. Getting across cut would, especially if the members of BELICOS Beans are not in position, would almost guarantee them the ability to pull lead here. We do see, oh, they get the pick on Chicha. Oh my goodness, but Lex cleans up, gets the pick there. That is huge. A minute left in the game, and now this push has definitively come to a close with another member of bebos jumping out.
Once again, going to show why the bunker is so crucial. Lex there was able to take back their own bunker and was in a good position to really stop that push before they were able to run away with it.
And now we have BELICOS Beans in control of the Rainmaker. They know that where they go down, wherever they do, is going to be where bebos is going to be able to pick from. 2 members down of BELICOS Beans, as we do see Tobero here on that snipe. This is a very good position for them to be in, but 2 members of bebos down, that Stingray coming out, getting a pick on the CDS. This is huge for BELICOS Beans, just because of how much ground bebos is going to have to cover, but I think there's somebody on that. Chicha falling back with the Rainmaker.
And unfortunately, unless they're able to get to him in time, this is going to be a GG. The Rainmaker is pulled all the way back to their spawn, and with 20 seconds left, yeah, they have plenty of time to hold on to that till the time runs out.
Yeah, a smart play there from Chicha to fall back with it. Well, that is sometimes a very inconvenient strat that your teammates will pull in solo queue. You know exactly what I'm talking about. In a coordinated fashion in which Chicha knew that the surviving member of bebos was on their own plat. If they go down with that Rainmaker in mid, now they're suddenly in a 3v4 situation with bebos coming out of spawn, and then you're guaranteed overtime there because bebos got the pick on the Rainmaker. So falling back there from Chicha was actually an incredibly intelligent play, and you love to see it.
Absolutely. And that will be match 3 for Beans, so they will be continuing on to the next match, or the next set.
Yeah, we sure will. We do have a couple of things that we do want to say before we go on to our little break here. So we do have Riptide coming up. If you don't know what Riptide is, what are you doing? Hold on. I can tell you exactly how many days we have until Riptide. Give me 30 seconds, IMAD. Literally 2 seconds. All right, did you know that there are 93 days until Riptide? Yes, Riptide is a LAN happening September 9th through the 11th at the Kalahari in Sandusky, Ohio, where you could play Splatoon, smash Rivals of Aether and have a wonderful time at the water park and arcade. I got to go to Low Tide a couple months back. It was a fantastic event. If you want to get to know some other gamers, just feel the atmosphere of Splatoon 3 on launch. 10 of the recommend Riptide, happening in Sandusky, Ohio. This will be the first land to host the Splatoon 3 event on the day of release, and obviously the major tournament that will be happening there will be for Splatoon 2, happening Saturday and Sunday. For those who can't make it, we get it 100%. It will be streamed right here on IPL. So sign up for Riptide at start.gg/Riptide.
Yes, if you're not tuned in either in person or on stream, you are missing out, my friend.
You sure are. Also, this month, did you know that we have Low Ink? Low Ink is a 2-day Splatoon 2 tournament for newer and lower level competitive players. Its goal is to give teams a chance to get into the Splatoon 2 tournament scene and gain valuable competitive experience. The format has a focus on bringing games close to your skill level, so you can meet teams to practice against, meet those grim partners. You can sign up here on Battlefy. All of IPL's events are on Battlefy. You can also visit the newly refurbished website lowink.iplabs.inc. And then we also have FNF. Hi, Matt. Oh, okay. We have FNF this coming week. FNF is every Friday. I personally am playing in it, so sorry. Friday Night Frenzy Season 4 is currently going on. That is on June 3rd, or every Friday. You can catch that on Falco's Twitch and follow at FNF_SPL on Twitter.
Yes, that should be also a fun time you won't want to miss out on.
Yeah, we'll be right back, gamers.
Welcome back, everyone, to Swim or Sink 71. It is I, Mad Gamer II, and I am joined by the one and only Skipadillion.
Oh my god, I'm mad. I didn't know there was a second after there. Who's the first?
I would honestly love to know. They stole my name.
There is no shot, bro. There is legitimately no shot. Alright. We will be starting off with Vanilla Sky and 4 Bellicose Beans, who we just saw pop off.
Yes, indeed. We're going to be seeing the return of Bellicose Bees going up against Vanilla Sky in this. It's going to be best of 7. Got lots of action coming up.
Yeah, in a best of 7 format, we do stand it. So here's the thing. On the side of Vanilla Sky, to give them a little bit of an introduction, we do have Haya, who is a current member of Destiny Troops, or former? I don't really know, because Destiny Troops is playing in SOS tonight. They are currently in Hammerhead bracket, I believe. So I don't know. Haya there does play Blasters, Splash, and L3. They did get 3rd place at Low Tide City, so we were just talking about Riptide, but Haya, a documented LAN player. And we also have Boopy, who will be playing the Splash with a shot, and then Banana on the 85. I couldn't find anything about DOK, please make a sendo. And then, obviously, 4 Bellicose Beans, who we just saw last round.
This first couple of matches is going to be very interesting. We have Tower Control, Inkling Art Academy. Tower Control, it is I don't even know what to say. We have a small map for Inkling Art Academy. Tower Control is, I think, as we saw in the past, a very good. I guess it can favor more the backline comp. It certainly is a lot more viable than, say, Clan Blitz or Rainmaker. So I am curious to see what we might see coming out of this.
Okay, we have one shot on the V-Jet. Oh, and then DLK playing Chargers. Glad to know. Bringing out that V-Charger for that Stingray with that special charge and special saver. Very similar comp to what we were seeing last round from 4 Bellicose Beans.
Very similar comp indeed. Both teams are just... Ooh, that's a nice shot by D right here. They're going to be taking the first couple of points off the tower and are just setting up for their first push. That checkpoint is right in a bit of a soft spot if they are not careful.
This is a terrifying spot for a Charger to be, just because of the pressure that they can put on your back and attic there, and that top left side. Vanilla Sky continuing their push with their shot currently being down, but it does look like they are disengaging at the moment. DOK, they're still on that is terrifying for 4 Bellicose Beans, and they are going to have to figure out how to flush them out safely. So how they're going to do that, we will see, but the splash does go down on the side of Vanilla Sky.
That is I was going to say, that is a good, leaves them in a good position to start to push of their own, but their bucket does go down, and that is going to be I guess one of their main contenders against that Charger, being able to get right up underneath them and just arc their shots in places that the Charger would normally be able to hide. That being said, Go Tier popping off, trying to get that tower moving. They are on their way to that first checkpoint as 2 members of Vanilla Sky are currently down.
Actively enjoy the movement there from Chicha behind that left. 4 Bellicose Beans with 4 specials online, bringing those out. Oh, hitting that Charger with the double missiles. Look at all those missiles in the sky. The poor thing, genuinely, but somehow still alive. It is 2 other members of Vanilla Sky who do go down there, but the Charger sitting pretty.
Sitting real pretty, and also has a Stingray online. They're going to be able to counter that push as they come to the second checkpoint and take that lead. Missiles are already back, and they're going to be dislodging that Stingray, not allowing him to do much damage. No members have gone down as of yet. Well, that being said, we have the bucket going down, but they are still in control and pushing forward.
Yeah, and Lex playing up underneath these steps here, just trying to keep some pressure forward. Oh, 2 down on the side of 4 Bellicose Beans. DLK hitting some very gorgeous shots there. I want to see them in mid again. Genuinely.
Just bring out their Charger Awesomeness on them. We see Banana Berry pushing on the tower, but there's going to be a lot of fire coming at him, and they are still able to hold on.
Yeah, getting to that where that first checkpoint had fallen. Vanilla Sky being able to continue their push here. All they need to do is barely tap that second checkpoint, and there it is. The lead has fallen. There's still 2.5 minutes in this game. Plenty of time, but Haya pushing up, getting a pick on one member of BELICOS Beans that is going to stall their defense here. And once you are past the second checkpoint, things do tend to snowball on TC Inkblot. Dafter throwing those faces, just trying to get some chip on the board. But it does look like a very uncomfortable situation for BELICOS Beans.
Indeed, and speaking of scary positions, that charger currently on top of their mushroom in a good position to really just keep them at bay as they push that checkpoint all the way to push the tower to that last checkpoint. But 1 minute remaining, or no, 1 point, and they were able to hold them off with one player left alive. Wow.
KO denied. For BELICOS Beans not giving up on this match. They are still going to come back and swinging, but they have so much space in order to take in this minute remaining. Missiles coming online, followed by armor. If BELICOS Beans wants to win this here, they need to clear that second check, obviously, because there's 1 point remaining on Vanilla Sky, but they need to do so in a controlled fashion to allow and facilitate that snowball on the members of Vanilla Sky. And they also genuinely was not expecting this, but they do need to deal with DLK on that charger just because of the presence that they are having and the impact that they are having on this game, both with their Ray and their main weapon.
And not only are they utilizing their role and their weapon to their full potential, they are doing it in a very aggressive manner, getting into places you normally wouldn't expect a charger to set up, and really putting on the pressure that Beans, I guess, would not have been expecting at the first. 20 seconds remaining. We are in a bit of a stalemate here.
Yeah, 4 BELICOS Beans with some serious ground to cover and not a lot of time to do it. It is a 3v3 situation with Beans in control of that tower. The zap does go down. That is big in terms of keeping enough pressure on that shot and that K shot. And and there we go. The splash goes down. So this is a bit of a trigger for Vanilla Sky. The Ray is online, putting pressure on that checkpoint. How is Beans still on that checkpoint? They clear it, and 2 down on the side of Vanilla Sky. This could potentially be very big.
Haya going down here with only the charger remaining, and they are still moving forward. You were saying a controlled snowball. They are currently in a controlled snowball. Members are jumping back in as they do go 2 down, and they're still 3 down, and that is going to be a wipe.
Yeah, once those 2 members went down, 4 BELICOS Beans had no choice but to stay on that tower. Dafter doing a good job at keeping presence on that tower with their weapon, shooting at it. But once that final 3rd player went down, it was just GG's there from Vanilla Sky. That snowball at the end there from 4 BELICOS Beans was very controlled. The only thing is when you're pushing in overtime, you don't have the wherewithal to take a moment to get off of tower, because you do have like 5 seconds to like chill on tower before it like starts to reset, and you can't let that happen in overtime. Ordinarily, when you get past that second checkpoint, you can take somebody off the tower for a moment, let it start winding back to mid, tap it, keep it where it is, take it slow, and that was what Vanilla Sky was able to do in that push that went all the way down to 1. But 4 BELICOS Beans did not have the opportunity to control that push. Despite how controlled that final push was, they didn't have the same tools that Vanilla Sky did on the push that did secure the victory there for them. Fantastic game. DLK, why have I not seen them before?
They're quite impressive with the charger, and considering how difficult it is to pick up charger and do well with it in this high of a setting, I'm honestly surprised I've not heard of them yet either.
Yeah, genuinely shook. The power positions there between being on garlic, being on left stack, pushing up to back, just a very forward presence charger, but the rotations back were still very, very clean. There was a moment where they were on left stack, and Vanilla Sky with 2 members down, and you could see the members of 4 BELICOS Beans positioned to try and take out the charger that was on left stack. And by the time they got there, despite that aggressive position, DOK was already back on plat and did secure a pick or two immediately after that, knowing that they were going to be rushed down. So fantastic play from the Charger there. I'm genuinely startled that I haven't heard of them before.
Well, we look forward to seeing them more in the future and possibly get to know them better. But we will be going into Rainmaker on Black Belly Skate Park for this next match, and ooh, that is quite unfortunate.
Sticking with the Charger on Rainmaker. Oh. The DC. Splatoon
We do have
for the Nintendo Switch.
Thankfully, it was right at the beginning of the match, so we will be going into a quick reset. Vanilla Sky bringing the Rainmaker to pedestal for the knockout, and then we'll be starting once again.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. We're here for a good time. Could also be a long time.
But yeah, bringing back the Charger for Black Belly Skate Park with that little bit of a sneak peek there. The Stingray is definitely going to be coming in handy, but I am honestly, with the Charger in the hands of DK there, this is going to be quite the match to watch. There's a lot of open room with that center tower removed for this mode. He's got a lot of room to work with.
My interest in the scoped Charger on Rainmaker, forget Black Belly, remove Black Belly from the equation, right? Granted, it is a very open map, like you mentioned, in terms of maintaining mid presence. So if you always have teammates in mid, I could see them getting set up very well on the top left or snipe above half pipe. But it's just, it can be incredibly punishing. And so the courage and the heart to bring that out on Rainmaker Black Belly, that's what I'm interested in. Because you gotta know that you were up to stuff in order to bring that out.
That is a fair point. It is a lot more pressure to be hitting your shots in a Rainmaker, more so than most other modes. Especially when you have the Rainmaker carrier itself. Like if you miss the shot and it comes down to the winning point, that you will be kicking yourself later.
Yeah, but look at where DOK already is. They are already in mid. They're like no holding back, watching these flanks, watching left as that Stingray does come out. Just the aggressive positioning here is objectively fascinating to me. Banana going in and getting that Rainmaker on right plat, that is good. That is where you want the Rainmaker to go down. We do see two members of Vanilla Sky getting that subsequent pop. Stingray comes out, and the bomb pressure is going to allow the members of Vanilla Sky in order to push up a little bit. The splashdown cancel from Dafter. Ooh, that is pretty sheeshers if you ask me. Ooh, on Boopy too. Sheesh.
Now, that came pretty close to a triple there. I am very interested in the DK there. Even though the Stingray for Beans was active, they had their Stingray online, but they held it until they were able to make a push after the Rainmaker was taken down to combine it with their the bomb rush. So rather than popping Stingray to counter the Stingray, they held onto it to more actively use it to push with the Rainmaker.
You were right in that the special awareness from the members of Vanilla Sky, knowing that they could pop the Stingray, but opting not to wait for a better moment to do so. That is another fascinating moment for me. We do see that DOK did win that Stingray battle, so clearly not afraid of such fights. Vanilla Sky, despite all this huff and puff, has yet to really get beyond that plat. Dafter here taking a very cheeky 1v1, and 2 down on the side of Vanilla Sky as Dafter does attempt to jump out, does get picked on the way out. Rainmaker Black Belly is known for stalemates, but this is a stalemate.
This is turning out to be a much slower match than we're typically used to, and I think having the presence of that Charger is a big part of that, especially for Vanilla Sky. They are taking a little bit more thoughtful take to this rather than a grab and go mentality, as they do have one man that is set in a more slower role. And so I think using their position in the middle to just have control of the match overall is playing to their favor.
Pushing back in on the side of Fort BELICOS means they do have that splashdown ready for a quick pop. Oh, I take it back. They no longer have that splashdown ready. Boopy there pushing into enemy territory, engaging with someone but losing track of them. That player does jump out. With 2 minutes left in the game, it is Vanilla Sky who can not feel comfortable but feel confident. For BELICOS Beans has yet to get the Rainmaker off of the mid platform, which is something. For the members of Michelin Heroes. We do see DLK getting a pick on Chicha. That is good. It is going to take out their armor. That does allow for... It's better on defense than it is on offense on Rainmaker just because you have those 4 players. So Vanilla Sky, it does look like the tides are switching in favor of for BELICOS Beans, but they do have to get objective for that to work. Just the paint that's on for Vanilla Sky it is quite a bit, genuinely.
Yeah, they certainly have a lot of work in order to make a push of their own. That being said, 2 members of Vanilla Sky go down, and this could be, well, the opening they need. That Charger getting caught in a fight 1v1 with the K-Shot. That is not a fight you want to have in such close quarters, but they are able to take the lead in the last minute here, get down to 35 points. We do see 2 specials online for the Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, and here come those missiles. Oh! Somebody stuck behind and went to KO it! That's crazy! For BELICOS Beans, that is why you never leave the Rainmaker unguarded, because now Vanilla Sky has to KO this. And that is a significant switch in momentum in terms of what needs to be accomplished here. They need to take control of mid, they need to pick a side, they need to get the picks, they need to get the Rainmaker to the pedestal. And in a 2v2 situation with 4 BELICOS Beans, having that Stingray online, that is quite a task and is easier said than done. Vanilla Sky preemptively popping their Ray, trying to get on that Jet so that way they can't pop the Ray, but it's not going to happen. The Ray comes out, Haya pushing up in some fire. It is just the Rainmaker and the Charger with no paint to work with. That is the rush down for BELICOS Beans taking game 2.
That they were in an uncomfortable position with that lead, but then the absolute sneak play there just put them at odds with the time, going into overtime and having to get a knockout. That was quite the uphill battle they would have to get.
And the pressure that puts on you mentally is significant, especially when your comp is set around iron walling and denying pushes and stalling that out. They were able to successfully play to the advantages of their comp for the first 2 minutes of the game. Make it first 3.5 minutes, really, because it was for BELICOS Beans did secure that push at the final minute and a half of the game. But the pressure of knowing that you have to hold forward and that you don't have a choice and that you have 40 seconds to do so is a lot for anyone. I did want to take a look at who Vanilla Sky had to beat in order to get here, and they did have to go through Axel, which is a SOS contender who's here all the time, and then also a pickup called Dex Lex No Cap, and I do see that is, but all of those players are significant in terms of what we're looking at here for SOS. So not a cakewalk for their pool. Showing why they are here in Great White. I'm objectively fascinated between these two teams. In terms of what they are bringing out, for BELICOS Beans, obviously 4 Beans with a little bit of mix up, mostly Michelin Heroes. These are some of the top competitors that we have in Splatoon 2 right now in terms of players who are playing weeklies and showing up and actively grinding the game. But Vanilla Sky, I think of Haya and their win at LTC, Boopy Banana, and now I know who DLK is. This is quite the I've had.
Quite so. Both of these teams have worked hard to get where they're at, and they are showing the amount of work they put into it. Very impressive gameplay so far, and as you said, the pool was not a pool of minnows, as it were. They had to fight quite a few top teams in order to get to the finals here today. And as you said, a lot of these teams are returning top contenders for tournaments such as SOS. So this is, I would say, a lot of fun to watch just from a spectator point.
It is. Like on the side of Four Bellicos Beans, they are familiar faces for me as a commentator. Being able to see them pushed to this limit, and now it has happened.
The time we've been waiting for.
We are getting the Charger Duel of Legends in Grand Finals between the Rising Star DLK and the multiple-time SOS contender One Shot. This is going to be quite a match on Clam Blitz, nonetheless. Not a mode that you typically see Chargers on.
Not at all, and we already see both of them. Well, the E-Leader has the reach, it doesn't need to push that far up, but DK up in the front of it, just putting on the pressure. He is not afraid of that E-Leader at all.
No, honestly, and that does not surprise me at all, given how DLK has been playing this whole set. And we do see that Vanilla Sky is the first team to secure a push. That splash wall from that Firefin. Haya missing the shot. Get it, Haya. That splash wall from the Firefin is going to be very advantageous in terms of securing that street push. And the bomb rush in terms of shutting down Snipe and Spawn. While this push is going to come to a close, getting it to below 60 is huge for Vanilla Sky in the opening minute of the game.
Barely a minute into the game, we already have such a large opening push. I am. Bees are going to have quite the comeback, I can imagine.
Here we go with Four Bellicos Beans having 22 clams. That Storm is popped. They do have that splashdown, which it can be used to break in and get paint on the board underneath basket. Vanilla Sky, they're sitting comfortably. They have that bomb rush nearly online, which can be used to shut down street and prevent the push from Four Bellicos Beans. It does look like Beans is being forced back just a little bit. They look uncomfortable.
Yes, they have the one member down, and they lost a power climb there in the middle there. They are not quite sitting as pretty as they would like, as Vanilla Sky is slowly putting on the pressure and making their way back to mid.
Janana taking a swim. Unfortunate, nearly having Arc online. That is huge for the Beans. They are going to be pushing in that bomb rush coming out at great timing, but being rushed down there by Dafter. They do get the pick. Haya here having the bomb rush ready to go. But that push, all fuss and nothing really happening from it. On the side of Four Beans, great shutdown there from DLK and the remaining members of Vanilla Sky.
They try to use the splashdown to counteract the bomb rush there, but they were not quite able to get all of the bombs before one took them out, unfortunately. And so we do see, oh no, they're back with some more power clams. Beans making their counter push still, although they weren't able to get past it the first time.
Yeah, and here we go. They have 7 clams. They are in position, and Vanilla Sky is wiped. Beans is going to be able to extend their lead here by a significant margin, especially with 2 more members of Vanilla Sky going down. But Vanilla Sky, those double bomb rush can be used very clearly to defend that and break back in. But in order to do so, they need to get the paint down. It is just the Charger. This is quite uncomfortable for Vanilla Sky. Dafter here on that little corner. That can be a very difficult spot for a Charger to hit.
Although the Slusher is the last one remaining, they were able to get it down to 12. That is quite a bit for them to push. Not impossible, mind you, but with only almost a minute left remaining, is going to be. They're going to have to choose their push wisely, I would say. They're going to have to really set this up in order to make a large push, because they don't really have enough time to make a couple of smaller pushes.
Yeah, Vanilla Sky, they could squeeze in 2 pushes if they're fast about it. Those bomb rushes coming out. But an excellent shot there from One Shot, getting a pick on that splash mid bomb rush. For Bellicos Beans, they are pushing back in with only that K-shot left standing. Does get this cancel on Dafter, but oh my gosh, there's 1 point remaining. They need 1 clam. The bomb gets a pick. Where are the Beans? They are scrapping under basket when they only need to dunk a clam. that is the basket coming to a close. Vanilla Sky now has an additional pity to work with here if they are able to get the picks. But One Shot getting a pick on the Banana Berry there. With 15 seconds, the pressure is on Vanilla Sky here.
One Shot here, quite the slippery squid, taking on 2, possibly 3 members and able to get away with his life as well as a stack of clams. They are sitting quite pretty here with 1 second. They are going to be going to overtime, but with that sizable lead, all they got to do is build their specials and play defense at this point.
Is situated to do just that. But as I say that, we have Banana in the street with that power clam. Just the last player left standing. They are going to be picked by Dafter, and that is it. The clam does despawn. Game 3 going to 4 BELICOS beans, showing, you know, their infamous 4 bean energy.
They brought all the beans to the table, and although they did come out top on this match, I would say it is too close to call One Shot the king of chargers just yet. We still have a couple more matches to go for them to prove who is the better charger, and I am excited to see it.
I'm genuinely excited to see it as well, because it's like top level tends to look at low level and be like, like these are interesting comps. Particularly like low ink. You get some more interesting comps in low ink than you typically do in other areas of the competitive scene. But here we are in Grand Finals of SOS with a charger on both sides. Makes you think a little bit, doesn't it, Iman?
Quite so indeed. I would say when you get farther up, if what works, and it is a lot more difficult to deviate from what is, I guess, strong in the meta. But in this, I guess, a lot more fluid in this level set. You have a lot more room to try new things or see what works and try more unusual comps. And I think that is honestly refreshing to see. Is a lot more interesting to see the variety of different weapons and playstyles.
Yeah, it is. It is genuinely. I love chargers. I think chargers, the skill that's required to play that confidently absolutely blows my mind. And to go into this set not knowing who DOK is, being the only member I couldn't find any information on, to now just being absolutely flabbergasted at their skill with that weapon, is genuinely exciting. Every now and then I still get surprised. And you know, One Shot, obviously a player that I personally love to watch play just because of their mechanical skill and their presence on the field and just the defensive line that they are able to hold. This is a great set. I'm honored to be commentating it with you, Iman.
As am I. And we will be going to Malcolm Hart zones, and this is it tends to lend itself more towards the aggressive player, but honestly there is a small niche for chargers on this particular map, and both of these players are going to be having a field day just if they're able to get into the right positions.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all to see both of these chargers here. I am surprised by the V charger, just because of how Firefin can get set up on either of the stacks. The E-Leader doesn't surprise me. They can practically cut across the entire map from their own snipe. But the V-Charger, I want to know why. What is the plan here? What is the intent? Because you don't get to Grand Finals of SOS and then whip out a V-Charger on Splatzone's Mako without intent.
Yeah, it doesn't really lend itself to the mode, it doesn't lend itself to the objective. If I had to make a guess, if I were to choose V-Charger, it would honestly be to counteract the advanced range of that E-Leader. There is a lot of open areas. Ooh, the nice double here.
That was excellent play there from Boopy in terms of popping those missiles and then that bomb in order to break back in by sheer brute force. Nearly having another set of missiles here ready to go. That's going to be very useful in terms of a combination with that ray, which we did see the impact of during that last engagement, and the missiles in order to chain those together. Apply chip and be able to work together to shut down that leader, because it does have that range advantage. We do see the armor and the jet and the storm coming out from 4 beans as they try and force their way back into that zone. They do get a pick on Haya, which is going to take down a significant chunk of their paint, and they manage to cap here.
A little bit of a alleyway 1v1 with Boopy coming out on top here as the last member of Beans goes down. The Charger now respawning. They're in a good position here to be taking this lead back. They're chewing through their penalty already, nearly to the end of it, but we do see 2 specials online for Vanilla Sky. They are setting up for a push of their own.
Yeah, the armor and the missiles coming out. The penalty nearly cleared. The leader watching Banana here. Their armor is going to drop, so they just have to keep the paint on the zone for a couple more seconds. There it is. That is the lead in favor of Vanilla Sky. Boopy getting a splashdown cancel on Dapper there. Vanilla Sky may be able to maintain this, and they do. If they get this below 15, I'm going to be quite nervous for BELICOS Beans. They have so much penalty to be able to clear. Getting that shot, pick on the shot is huge. Dapper with the splashdown, the missiles, the storm on the zone. That is a cap for BELICOS Beans, but how do they hold it is my question from here.
They certainly put all their eggs in the basket in order to get that zone back, but it did put a sizable penalty, so they have a bit of a breathing room here. As you said, if the E-Leader's having a tough time, I think that Stingray is really doing its work, because there's a lot of good places for the E-Leader to set up that is not accessible by most of the other weapons, but the E-Leader, or no, the Stingray has no qualms. Doesn't matter where you are, it will find you.
And you were very right in terms of what that leader, or the Stingray, was going to be able to be doing here. Just putting that pressure on the leader and preventing them from getting set up on snipe. It is working to Vanilla Sky's advantage in a way I didn't initially anticipate. We do see Dafter here getting a pick on the Stingray player though, DLK. That is huge for BELICOS Beans, because now they have their armor, they have that splashdown to shut down the bomb rush from Haya. The mines are coming out on that zone to try and just keep as much paint down as physically possible. But Vanilla Sky, they have those specials, and here they come with sheer intimidation factor, all 4 of them. But they're not able to get enough paint down on the zone. 2 going down. This is quite sweaty for Vanilla Sky.
With all these specials they had online, they weren't able to quite cap the zone, and we are getting to dangerous territory, and that is going to be game for the side of BELICOS Beans. I would have to say the use of the bomb rush so early on before the other specials, I think really what handicapped that last push there. As you said, they weren't able to get enough paint onto the ground. They weren't able to get any picks either from it either, and just having all the members of BELICOS Beans alive still, they were just able to paint the zone and keep it in their control, even though they had 3 specials bearing down on them.
They actually had 4. The missiles were popped like instant framed. So the storm and the ray and the bomb rush came out, and then as soon as that shot had missiles, they were popped. So yeah, consciously did not have time to register it on the HUD, but they were a flying, and we are now in match point for BELICOS Beans. The dominant victory from Vanilla Sky and Tower Control Inkblot feels so long ago. Just because of the showing that BELICOS Beans has had these last 3 games. I would add that these have been even games. Rainmaker Black Belly was even until the final minute and a half. Clam Blitz Snapper genuinely could have gone either way. Granted, BELICOS Beans could have also KO'd that. They were putting hands underneath the basket there. Honestly, Vanilla Sky, I did not expect them to lose macro zones.
It was last few points for both sides.
It really, really was down to the wire, and you got to appreciate for play at the end there, knowing they're going to have all 4 specials chucked at them in a last-ditch effort play to break back into the zone. And then the mines coming out in the zone to keep paint down, the splashdown to cancel the bomb rush. And then a stingray can't paint.
Mhm.
Like it just like it sounds stupid obvious, but like, hey, did you know stingray can't paint? Now you
You
know.
really gotta wave it around in order to get much paint on the ground.
Which, I mean, then it isn't really a stingray. Is that what?
But yes, we are going into Tower Control on Anchovy Games. This honestly will lend itself pretty similarly to Inkblot. There's a lot of very similar terrain. You have a bit of the middle low area with two ledges you got to really push up on with the tower in order to get points.
Yeah, and the first pick going to one shot, getting a pick on that shot. As for BELICOS Beans begins their initial push, the storm going to come out from one shot there. As Dr. maintains control of that right fan, that's very useful in terms of shutting down any defense that Vanilla Sky may try to offer on that first check. Really good opening here from for BELICOS Beans as they waddle their way through that first checkpoint.
Two members of Vanilla Sky are down, but that Stingray is online. So I believe they are just waiting for that tower to reach the checkpoint and hold still long enough for them to use it. And yes, we do see it coming out, trying to push them off the tower as Banana Berry puts on some pressure from above.
And here we go. Vanilla Sky able to regain control of their arcade and getting two picks while they are at it. For BELICOS does have that armor ready to go, and there is one member down on the side of Vanilla Sky. They did have armor ready to go. They no longer have it. Did you know that that's very useful on defense? Yeah, Haya here working their way up. If they pick that leader, that is huge.
They do have the... oh, wow.
Okay.
That was quite the engagement. Yeah, going back against the E-Leader now, the Stingray is coming out, and the E-Leader does go down, as well as this K-Shot. This is a delayed 3, a delayed wipe. This is a good position for Vanilla Sky to be in. They have that first checkpoint knocked out of the way, and they are on their way to get that second checkpoint along with the lead.
Yeah, so that machine Dafter is going to be very useful in terms of shutting down this second checkpoint, but very similar to Inkblot in that once you do clear the second check, things do tend to snowball. Dafter nearly getting a pick there, but is going to be forced back by some chip damage. But the Vanilla Sky doesn't clear the checkpoint initially. They still do have 4 people standing in order to try and break that, but letting the tower just simmer, go back to mid, trying to find another opportunity instead of forcing one. A very, very smart play from Vanilla here to play their lives instead of brute force that check.
And they were still able to get the lead out of that interaction, so although they didn't get the checkpoint, as you said, playing the smart move, keeping everyone alive and getting ready for the next push was a excellent choice on their part. That being said, they do see 3 members, almost a wipe going down, so now it is a revert situation with BELICOS Beans coming back for a second push of their own.
Yeah, and here they are. They already have control of arcade very, very swiftly. A great response from BELICOS Beans to just come in and get the pick and not give Vanilla Sky the breathing room that they were looking for by falling back. That raid does come out, but it's just Boopy and DLK there left standing. The missiles online as well. Those are going to be fired at the tower, but the tower leaders swap. So that way, BELICOS Beans is able to clear that second checkpoint. It is just Dafter. Dafter does go down as Vanilla Sky regains control of their arcade and is able to push up. This still can go in favor of Vanilla Sky. They do have the special advantage at this moment, but they need to get onto arcade and they need to be able to live in order to be able to clear that second checkpoint. That being said, the shot does get picked by the leader.
Although they all went down in that last engagement, one could say that it was just a shortcut back to spawn. They are now set up for a defensive position with the lead, and now that they have the second checkpoint out of the way, they are well set up for another push if they so choose or have the opening for it to do so. And so it is going to be a much easier time for them as opposed to Vanilla Sky in order to get more points from this point on.
we do see Dafter swapping positions, getting on top of that window in order to threaten Vanilla Sky's drop there. If Vanilla Sky can't drop right, if they can't fall back to right when trying to push, they very suddenly lose a significant amount of map advantage. And so that was fantastic rotation from Dafter there. They are going to be threatened by the shot here, but do jump out in time. Vanilla Sky somehow coming out of that engagement with mid control, getting a pick on Lex, both shots down on each sides of the game. That Stingray coming out as well to threaten the leader, but Dafter is in position for a flank. This is extremely dangerous. They get Dafter.
The armor coming in clutch, they're able to allow the Stingrayer and Haya to survive long enough to take him down, and they are back in control of the tower for just a brief moment.
And we do see a squid from 4 Bellicose Beans clipping off of that tower. A wonderful little Splatoon 2 moment. As for Bellicose Beans, I would add that was our match point. So for Bellicose Beans taking grand finals, a clean 4-1 after Vanilla Sky's initial game 1 victory. Congratulations to 4 Bellicose Beans. That last match was exemplary of how this whole set went. It was scrappy, down to the wire, decided by who cleared which checkpoint, who positioned where. Fantastic play from both sides, genuinely. And we got to see some familiar faces and some new names.
And even though the like what we're seeing on the screen here, it would seem almost one-sided. It was not one-sided at all. It was, as you said, down to the wire to the very last moment. Both sides had such a good contending for that final victory. Bellicose Beans just was able to scrap the necessary win to come out on top.
Yeah, it was certainly not one-sided. None of those matches went how I expected them to, which is awesome, genuinely. I hope we'll be seeing Vanilla Sky around some more. That does sound like a team name and not a pickup. So
100%.
But 4 Beans, I know we'll be seeing them around some more. They are some fabulous returning gamers and also players from Michelin Heroes. So we'll be seeing those players as well, Dafter, Lex, and Cass. With that being said, IMAD, it has been wonderful to commentate with you tonight. I hope you.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Oh my gosh, where can the good people find you, IMAD?
You can find me on both Twitch and Twitter at IMadGamerII. Where can the good people find you?
Hi, my name is Scap. Did you know that there are 93 days until Riptide? And you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Scapidillions, as seen on screen. And with that, we will be bidding you adieu. I hope you all wonderful lovelies have a fantastic night. And stay fresh, everyone.